This is the Big O Show. 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 This.
So here we are. I wanted to show you the backyard again because we had some trouble last time, but you know, cuttersedgepro.com does some amazing stuff, and there are the boys and the girl. They're having fun. There we go. Right, Maiden? Right, Bono? There we go. They're having fun. I'm having fun. Look at our Sylvester palm. It is beautiful. We got another one in the front yard like that. You can take your home and landscaping to the next level. And the artificial turf, look at that. Look at that. The two dinosaurs going at it, huh? Look at that. Gotta love the dinosaurs. Look at them. They like to bite each other's legs. That's what they do. They play with each other and then they bite each other and they piss each other off. It's fun. One is Bono, which is the one farther away from you, and Maiden. She's the girl right here. She's a badass. That's for sure. So anyway, see the flowers are coming out. Very nice. cuttersedgepro.com, folks. This big tree there will start budding that I'm showing you there soon. It'll have all kinds of flowers. I'll post another video and I'll show it to you. This is a backyard where everybody gets to hang out. Over there in the corner there, I put the barbecue and cook. So that way it's the farthest away from the house, you know. If I light myself on fire or somebody else, we're out in the corner away from everybody. There you go. So you're getting some flowers coming out, which is a beautiful thing. And I swear by this artificial turf, it always looks phenomenal. I don't have to cut it. I don't have to water it. And so I'm saving a lot of money, hundreds and thousands in the long run, because I'm not watering or, of course, cutting the grass. And you know, here in South Florida, we cut the grass like every 10 to 14 days.
There's no need to drive around South Florida wasting valuable time looking for a new or certified pre-owned Acura. Go to the #1 volume sales dealership in the Southeast United States. Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. Purchase with pace and space in a dealership tailored to your needs. From home buying to providing that personal touch. Contact the 2020 Satisfaction Award winner Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. 888-776-5123. That's 888-776-5123. Or visit them at 15601 Pines Boulevard in Pembroke Pines.
When you move, you need a reliable company led by passionate folks, eager to assist its customers during a transitional process that needs to be smooth. Call Essential Moving Experts at 844-368-5750 for all your local and long-distance moving needs. You can rely on Essential Moving Experts. Mention the Big O Show and get $150 off. Family owned and operated, they offer free 30-day storage, full-service moving, fully licensed, bonded, and insured. Moving was never so easy. EssentialMovingExperts.com. Welton Rayom has more than 62 years of litigation experience handling insurance disputes. They're committed to resolving even the toughest insurance claims quickly. Call them for a free consultation. 954-966-4646. At Welton Rayom, they don't get paid unless you win. Property damage claims to your home, business, or condo as a result of a hurricane. Welton Rayom can help. Water, mold, fire, smoke damage, Welton Rayom can help. Call 954-966-4646.
If you're a Miami sports fan, then there's only one store to go to, and that's Caneswear at Miami Fanwear in Davie. They're your one-stop shop for all your Inter Miami CF, Canes, Dolphins, Panthers, and Marlins merchandise. They have hats, t-shirts, game day jerseys, and so much more. Located at 2511 South University Drive in Davie, and open 24/7 online at caneswear.com or intermiamiwear.com. Call them at 954-835-5597. Caneswear, the spot where Inter Miami and all Miami sports fans shop.
For over 16 years, EJDconstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDconstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDconstruction.com.
Viewpoint statements or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website. When it comes to South Florida sports teams, very few in the media have witnessed, lived, and covered it like the Big O. Let's start the program dedicated to your favorite South Florida teams with a passion that's unmatched. The Big O Radio Show is on. Here's the Big O.
Alrighty! Yeah, baby! Panthers leading, baby, 1-0. What a night last night. That was a lot of fun, man. It's a lot of fun, a little frustration, obviously, with the Heat, because you know they could have been up 2-0 if their franchise, well, if the super role player, tried to play like a franchise player, last night. You easily could have been up 2-0 on the stinking Knicks. Oh, Knicks fans can't be feeling good tonight. Right? This morning they have to be like, wow, we're really not that good. The Heat's got no Jimmy, no Tyler, no Oladipo, barely a Bam, and we barely beat them. And we had to win it at the end. And we needed a shady call, which home cooking for the Knicks. But hey, what are you going to do? But it's all about the Panthers last night because they got it done against Toronto. That was fun last night. I got to say, that was a lot of fun last night to watch what the Panthers did and how they stepped up in a big-time way. By the way, we have to welcome back the great Sean Stanley. He is out of the hospital, and he is back on the saddle. I don't know if he wants to come up on camera yet or whatever, but he's here. He's running the show at least, so we are there he is. There he is. There we go. A little thumbs up from Sean. So we got him back. So it's really, really good. Jose says refs really cheated us from a win. Screw Foster. Yeah, I mean, how that thing clearly hit the rim. And by the way, Spo asked for the review. I guess they didn't review it, but what are you gonna do, right? Anyway, so kind of an up and down night last night. It was fun. Really proud of the Heat, by the way. Really, really proud of the Heat. Those guys fought and they did everything possible to win that game. Mad props. And there we go. A lot of love for Sean. Better give Sean a little love. In fact, everybody should smash the like button right now in honor of Sean. Okay. I see right now we've built up 84. Come on, man. Let's go. I want to get 84 likes right now. There's 90. I want to get 90 right now in honor for Sean that he's back in the mix. That's, come on, man. Give that thumbs up that Sean is back in the mix. Reach over right now and hit that like button that you love that Sean is back in the mix here with us. Anyway, Big O, the New York's big three scored all in the 20s, shot threes good. They got the refs call, and Jimmy didn't play, and we barely lost. I take it as a win. No, last night, there's no Knick fan that can feel good about their team. Okay? No Knick fan can feel good about their team. That's all. Yesterday, Randall Brunson and Barrett combined for 79 points. Okay? They needed those three guys to score 80 points to barely beat the Heat. Without Butler, without Hero, and without Bam. Basically. So what can I tell you? It's just one of those things. It's sad, but that's the reality. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, so we got some stuff to talk about today. Matt Verderam will stop by at 11 o'clock. We'll have a little fun with Matt. We've got some other stuff we want to get to, obviously, throughout. The Rock and Roll Hall of Fame announced their nominees. I want to get into that. Got a bunch of basketball stuff to talk about. Not a lot of football today, unfortunately. There's not really, we're like right in the. It should pick up tomorrow. I mean, next week when we get mini camp and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, not a ton of football things, but there's a couple, and we'll get into them as the show goes on. Let's first of all. Let's get into the Panthers. Let's give the Panthers the top billing here because they deserve it. They're 1-0 right now against Toronto, a team that since the Panthers knocked out the Bruins, Toronto is probably the next team that people are picking to win the whole thing. And here goes the Panthers putting a wrench into that whole plan for Vegas and everybody else. And now they took a 1-0 lead. And the Panthers are a very interesting team because what really happened is it's a team that, was injured throughout the year, had a lot of guys missing throughout. They implemented a new system. And so everything changed for them. Plus, they made some changes on the team too, right? And it seemed like this is a team that is now figuring out their system. Everybody is healthy, and now everybody is in a groove. And so it's almost like they're peaking at the right time. While all our frustrations throughout the year, we were like, wow, are these guys even going to make the playoffs? Like, holy shit. They had the best record in the league last year, and now they may not even make the playoffs. It's just one of those things that kind of leaves you like, man, really? And it sucks, right? And then all of a sudden, things are starting to come together. And it's really, maybe this is a team that wasn't supposed to be an A seed. Maybe this is a team that needed a 110-game season, so they can get in a groove finally. But they apparently the light started to go on here at the end of the last month of the season, right? And then into the playoffs, they have played their best hockey. Bob last night was terrific. That last save he made towards right at the end of that game, where it was like that shot was within inches of him and he was able to, catch it right away. I mean, that he had some saves in that game that were pretty damn good. Okay. So, if Bob starts to play well, and then you're getting Verhaeghe, Montour, Bennett, all these guys that are just stepping up in a big-time way. And obviously Kachuk is the man. All of these big-time clutch players right now, because that's what Verhage is. That's what Montour is. That's what Bennett is. That's what Kachuk is. I know Barkov is kind of like, he had a couple assists yesterday, and he's doing all the little things and all that other stuff. But that kind of helps Barkov right now, that he has a bunch of other guys taking the heat off of him. See, for Bam, it exposed him yesterday, unfortunately. They really needed him to be a star, and he couldn't. We'll get to that. But the balance that this team has right now, the physicality that they're playing with, that's the other thing that I love. They are taking it let me tell you something. The start of that game, where I know they got into the 2 power plays right away, and you're like, holy crap, they're playing with fire here. They're screwing around, But the one thing I will say is they sent the message that they were going to play tough and they were going to be physical with Toronto. And then at the same time, Toronto's trying to be physical with Kachuk, and Kachuk is just fearless, dude. I mean, that's you got to love that. That guy just is, everything you want in a leader. Everything. Because he's vocal, he's physical, he's emotional, he's committed, he's fearless. I mean, everything you want is in Kachuk. Everything. That's the perfect leader. And let me tell you, Carter Verhage is, brother, his nuts don't fit in any arena in the league. Okay? I mean, this is 2 playoff seasons in a row, 2 postseasons in a row by Carter Verhage that he just, like I said it last year. Like Carter Verhage last year was the only guy that had balls in the playoffs for the Panthers. Barkov didn't, and certainly didn't Huberdeau, and that's why you had to get rid of Huberdeau. And Verhage has picked up where he left off last year. Man, that guy is money, dude. And Montour is, holy shit, that dude is awesome. So you just love everything that's going on. And Radko Gudas had some key plays. And I mean, it's really, really cool to see what's going on with the Panthers, because the Heat, it's almost like perfect storms, right? The first round, Giannis is out for the first 2 games, kind of sets you up. And then when he comes back, obviously he's coming back from the injury, and you still, take care of business, but they opened the door with the injuries. You took advantage. And then in the second round, you're getting the Knicks, which really, the Knicks aren't anything special. So you got a shot against them. So it's kind of perfect storms. For the Panthers, ain't no fucking perfect storm. You're playing the Bruins, dude. They're the best team ever in the regular season. And now you're playing Toronto. You're not getting any breaks. Where the Heat is kind of getting a couple of breaks and then they're doing their part. The Panthers are getting no breaks. They are playing 2 of the best teams in the league, period. They are the ones that are ascending at the right time. The Heat aren't ascending. The Heat are just super tough. They're playing hard, and they got some heart out there, and they're the situations in front of them they can take advantage of. The Panthers are peaking at the right time, that they're starting to outplay the best teams in the league. That's where I differentiate, the 2. I credit both, but I kind of see the Panthers as the team that, remember, the Panthers are the team that was here in the playoffs last year and had the best record in the league. So they got a shot at really proving that, last year wasn't a fluke. And that's where it kind of changes. Where Miami, you got to give them credit, man. The Heat are taking advantage, but the Panthers are peaking at the right time. Game 2 will be on Thursday as we watch them come together, man. And 7 o'clock, game 2, TNT. We'll see if the boys can take a 2-0 lead on Toronto. That would be just absolutely amazing. Amazing. Even a cousin got in on the scoring yesterday, which was awesome. and even Ekblad, who has dealt with so many injuries. So good job by the Panthers. Looking forward to it. Can't wait for Thursday. See what happens. Well, and tomorrow, by the way, we'll be at Hialeah Park, 3 to 6 p.m. If you want to catch us there at Hialeah Park, we'll be there 3 to 6 p.m. having some fun. By the way, I got to laugh because, one, it's hilarious. Sean, did you happen to catch the Channel 7 sportscast yesterday? Okay. I shit you not. All right? I shit you not. They spent the sportscast, straddle up here, buckle down, sit down, park your car. If you're driving, I don't want you driving. This may cause an accident right now. Okay? I don't know what program director. I don't know if it was the sports director for Channel 7. I kind of doubt it. Probably the news director that came up with some lame-ass shit like this. They had Donovan Campbell doing his sportscast where all he did was Panther hockey rules, explaining the power play, explaining penalties, explaining rules. They spent their sportscast, the 90 seconds that they give them, minute and 5, 2 minutes, I don't know, whatever measly couple seconds that they give the sportscaster on Channel 7 for his sports report. And Donovan Campbell spent that entire sportscast breaking down rules like it was hockey 101. Like, dude, they did that back in the 90s when they expanded. What was it, 93, right? 92 or whatever it was. When the Panthers expanded, that's when you did those things like this is a power play. Seriously? I just want to know, like, whose idea that was at Channel 7 to do something that catastrophically stupid. And I would imagine that Donovan Campbell must have felt really stupid having to do a sports report where all they're doing is describing hockey rules. Wow. I mean, that was embarrassing. Seriously. Whoever's at Channel 7, that wasn't a good idea. Just want you to know. So whether the news director came up with it or, hey, Moser, if you came up with it, either whoever came up with it, that was really stupid. Okay? I mean, that's some lame-ass shit. Okay? Just so you'll know. I mean, that was, wow, embarrassing. I had to laugh, too, by the way. I will say this. It kept me, I stayed watching because I couldn't believe that they would do something that stupid and that asinine on a newscast. That they would spend the 90 seconds to, talk about hockey penalties and describing hockey rules to the fans and treating them, which I get it. We got lots of fans that don't follow it, but don't worry about it. The ones that follow, they know. And then the new ones will learn along the way. But Jesus Christ, that's for the Panthers to do. They can have some clinics in the offseason, that kind of stuff. We're kind of in the playoffs. It's a little late now. Okay? It's just a little late now to start teaching the rules. Just saying. Team's been here for like 30 years. You might want to hold off on the rules already at this point. A lot of welcome back Sean's. I like that. I like it. Who got in who got in first today? Let's see. Let me check here because here's where I can actually get the accurate one. Brian Walters. Yes, it is. Says, how about my Lakers? Anthony Davis did work. Yeah, he wasn't in street clothes yesterday. He stayed healthy. Steve Chapman in, Kyle Cockrell is in, Omar Lopez in, Gus 1388, Too Extreme. Thank you all out there as always. Jay Gelfin, keeping Sean in our prayers for healing. Yes. Sean is still healing, so gotta definitely keep him in your prayers. Lázaro Barrios says he's checking in from the Dominican Republic. Hope our big man is out of the hospital and doing well. He is out of the hospital, and he's doing better. We don't have him well yet, but he's doing better. They already kicked him out of the hospital, which, you know, they're dying to kick your ass out of hospitals. They don't want to keep you around too long. NorCal reminds everybody to wake and bake and hit that like button, and it's the Cali Cigar Puff Puff Give. That's it. Where are the likes for Sean? We're up to 88. Not bad. Now we're up to 184 on the chat board. Sean is back. Give us a thumbs up that you love that Sean is back, bro. Okay? Back and out of the hospital. So give us a thumbs up. Dougie Fresh says, oh, Rage Against the Machine, Into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, the most epic band names ever, live show monsters, and 30 years ago, killing in the name, offered, and now you do what they told ya. Banger. Dougie Fresh. And for those of you, they announced the list of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame nominees. And Kate Bush is on it. Sheryl Crow, well-deserved. Missy Elliott, well-deserved. George Michael, well-deserved. Willie Nelson, well-deserved. Rage Against the Machine, well-deserved. The Spinners, well-deserved. DJ Kool Herc, Link Ray, Shaka Khan, well-deserved. Al Cooper, Bernie Taupin, very talented, and Don Cornelius. Okay, those are the list. Overall, I got to tell you, it's a very weak list. Okay, some well-deserved to be in it. Is Kate Bush going to get it now because her song made it back and it was on Stranger Things? Is that what we're going to do now? Anyway, so I was just thinking, they gave you that list, right? And then, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, right? I know it's a music Hall of Fame, but I'm thinking, where's Iron Maiden? And where's the Scorpions? And where's Soundgarden? And where's Motorhead? And the Smiths? And Bryan Adams, and Anthrax, and Bad Company, and B-52s, and Boston, and Phil Collins, and Crosby, Stills, Nash & Young, and Dio, and Emerson, Lake and Palmer, and John Fogerty, and Foreigner, and Sammy Hagar, and Don Henley, and Billy Idol, and INXS, and REO Speedwagon, and Styx, and many more that I can come up with. But I just kind of made a list in my head. I think most of these aren't. I think all of them are pretty much not in the Hall of Fame. Maybe I'm off by one or two, I think. But outside of that, I think all those are not in the Hall of Fame. And most of those names that I read are more worthy than Kate Bush will ever be, than Link Ray will ever be, than DJ Kool Herc will ever be. I'm just saying. I mean, you put T-Rex in the Hall of Fame, and every name that I just mentioned is superior to T-Rex in every way, shape, and form. So it's just one of those things that, I saw the list, and I wasn't as impressed with that list when there are bands and human beings that have accomplished more than everybody on that list, and they're not in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. They're not even on the nominated list. It's the strangest thing in the world. So I saw it, and as usual, I disagree with a lot of stuff that the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame does. But what are you going to do, right? What are you going to do? Devin Jordan, thank you for the love on the super chat. He says, Big O, I'm very impressed by the Heat team. They have heart, and they almost beat a Knicks team without Butler. Without Butler, without Hero, and without Bam. It's pretty impressive. And Strus got injured. He got banged up and had to leave a little bit. And then Caleb slid right into the chairs, bro. and his back was hurting. I mean, this Heat team is taking all kinds of hits, man. And they just keep rocking. Sean is back out of the hospital. I want lots of thumbs up celebrations. We're up to 111. There's 205 watching right now. Let's go. Pick it up. Double of the people that are watching have not, let's put it, half of the people that are watching have not hit the like button in honor of Sean Stanley's return out of the hospital. He's been in the hospital for almost a week. Let's go. Give my man a little love. Bernie Taupin makes it as a lyricist. Foreigner is not in the Hall of Fame either. Kate Bush was huge in the UK for several years, not so much in the US, maybe UK bias. Either way, I mentioned a bunch of bands that Kate Bush doesn't have shit on Iron Maiden or Scorpions at all. She can't hold Bryan Adams' jock. Okay? Kate Bush ain't shit next to INXS. All right? Kate Bush is garbage next to INXS. INXS is a first ballot Hall of Fame band. Scorpions, first ballot Hall of Fame band. Iron Maiden, The Smiths. Kate Bush ain't shit compared to The Smiths. The Smiths are the Beatles of that alternative run in the 80s. The Smiths are the Beatles to Depeche Mode and New Order and The Cure and all that genre of music. Okay, just like Led Zeppelin is that pinnacle of all that classic rock, the Smiths are Led Zeppelin. They are the Beatles. Okay? And Morrissey, by the way, I didn't even put that on the list. If I put his solo and the Smiths, Kate Bush ain't shit. Okay? I mean, I'm sorry, dude. I think I know more about music than most of those idiots that are in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I'm dead serious about that, by the way. Dead ass serious about that. And I follow all kinds of genres of music. Maybe not so much classical and older country. I do like newer country because it's more rockish and more popish. Old country, very, very little of it I have any interest in. But most other genres, I keep up with it. And it's ridiculous. Ridiculous. Really. Like Kate Bush has no business being in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. There's a crap ton of people that I'd rather put in way before Kate Bush. Oh, but, her song made it on Stranger Things. So that's it. That annoying song that really, it starts off and then it just kind of, it's crazy. Anyway. I can't take Rock and Roll Hall of Fame seriously. You are correct. You are correct. Street clothes is Paul George or Kawhi Leonard coin flip. Only people bothers by Lakers success call AD street clothes. Yeah, I know AD is just soft. That's all. His body's made out of silly putty. Eric Storm says 86 to 92 was defined by The Cure, The Smiths, REM, 10,000 Maniacs, Depeche Mode, etc. Exactly. Yeah. Dude, who the F is Kate Bush? Exactly. That's why it's, it's a joke. It's all it's the Stranger Thing that happened with her and her song, and that's the only reason she's even on the ballot. She has no business to be a nominee, and it's certainly an insult to even put her into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame when I gave you, 40 other names that deserve to be. Dude, I'd put Beyonce before I put Kate Bush. You know that? And I'm not a Beyonce fan. I'm not into her pop music. But you go with what's it called? Oh, damn it. Which her band, The three girls, which I do love that, actually. I love that music. I do like. I'm forgetting now. But you put Beyonce with the two things that she did with Destiny's Child, thank God, Jesus, brain fart, and her solo, she's a Hall of Famer already. Way ahead of Kate Bush. Like, it's not even close, dude. So if you're going to put Kate Bush there, why don't you just put Beyonce? She's way more accomplished than Kate Bush in two ways. She led a dynamic band in Destiny's Child, which, by the way, if you look it up, I want to say Destiny's Child, look it up for me, Sean. I want to say Destiny's Child sold somewhere in the neighborhood of 80 million to 100 million records. Okay? They're one of the top selling girl groups of all time, Destiny's Child. And then she goes on to become a monster on her own. And I'm not big on her pop. Look, it's like this girl that I find her pop music super annoying. She's on that Voice. She's married to the country guy. What's her
Gwen
name?
Stefani.
Gwen Stefani. Gwen Stefani, no doubt, and solo, way better than Kate Bush, dude. Way better than Kate Bush. The F are you talking about? Do you people know anything about music in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? I picked two women there that I'll take over Kate Bush any day of the week and twice on Sundays. And I'm not into Beyonce or what's it called? What was her name again?
Gwen Stefani.
Gwen Stefani solo stuff. Now, No Doubt. Oh, I have all of No Doubt. I love No Doubt. Great music.
And
what do you got for it?
60 million they sold.
60 million. Okay.
Or more than 60 million. Sorry, that's more than 60 million.
Okay. So, I mean, Destiny's Child was badass. I put Beyonce in front of Kate Bush like 100 times over, bro. By the way, how many albums did Kate Bush sell total? Would like to know that. Did she even sell 16 million? Anyway, just ridiculous. But anyway, I just seem to get on these rants every other year with the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and it's just, it's just silly, man. Silly. Kate Bush. Seriously. Kate Bush. Come on, man. Yes.
6,975,800 albums, 500 in the US, 3.7 million in the UK.
500,000 in the US? Is that what you said?
Yeah, that's what it says on here, yeah.
And they're putting that woman on the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. She sold under 7 million, which, by the way, I wish I could sell 7 million worldwide. I mean, that's an accomplishment. Don't get me wrong now, but that doesn't mean you're Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. You're not even close, dude. You don't even, Kate Bush can't even hold Beyonce's used tampon. Okay? All right? Her used tampon, she can't hold. I'll take Gwen Stefani over Kate Bush. And I can't stand her freaking pop music. Like, it is disgusting that you would even put Kate Bush on this list only because of Stranger Things. That's it. This is the silliest thing that goes on in this society, bro. We give people credit for nothing. Jesus Christ, man. What a joke. Absolute joke. Anyway. So, Knight, thank you for the super chat. He says these QB lists are outlandish now. Shaking my head. I don't know what QB list you're talking about. I have no idea what you're talking about. Big O, how much political and cooperative red tape is on the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? I have no idea. No idea. All I know is they got a lot of stupid people on the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame that don't know anything about music at all. Okay? Because if you're going to put Kate Bush there, then you can't tell me you know anything about, music. And by the way, DJ Cool Herc, I don't know if I would put him in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame either. Kate Bush over in the Hall of Fame over Cyndi Lauper. Yeah, I would put Cyndi Lauper in the Hall of Fame way before Kate Bush. So, it's nuts, man. It's just the Hall of Fame committee being quirky and eschewing popularity and sales for artistic creativity. Pat Mahomes' brother just got arrested for sexual assault. Well, yeah, he's I think he's how does they say, persona non grata, I think, in the Kansas City organization. Like, they don't want his ass around. So I would switch from MTV to VH1 when the Kate Bush video would come out. The video was terrible. Yeah. And the song, really, it's just the start of it. And then after that, it's kind of like an annoying tune. Seriously. It's sad. It's all because Stranger Things got her onto the nominee. It's the dumbest thing in the world. What would make Kate Bush eligible for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? Nothing. She's not good enough to be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I mean, that's the problem. We watered down all of our Hall of Fames. Football, baseball, basketball, music, you name it. They water all of them down, bro. It's nuts. So, what are you going to do? Let's see. What else do we have going on? Do want to remind you, Cutter's Edge Pro, great sponsors of our program. And I just actually just tweeted out this morning because it's just one of those where I was out, taking my dogs outside in the morning, and the sun and actually, I'm sorry. Not just taking the dogs out, but just kind of hanging out, and enjoying the backyard and the landscaping from Cutter's Edge Pro, which is just, at another level. And I just want to show you a couple of pictures that I took in the backyard. And folks, if you're looking to take your backyard to the next level, call my friends at Cutter's Edge Pro, man. And, these are some of the flowers coming out in our backyard, and just, you see the artificial turf there in the background. My dogs love the artificial turf. I'm never cutting the grass. I'm not watering it. So as the years go on, I'm going to save hundreds and thousands of dollars. So the turf is paying off for itself as it is. Plus, it always looks phenomenal, man. You know what I mean? And you got it now. Now you got the tree now. I showed you this tree when there wasn't any flowers. I told you it's going to start springing some flowers, and sure enough, there it is, exploding. I got the Sylvester palm tree in the background there. Just beautiful sunlight coming on the trees. And just telling you, man, folks, if you really want to take your home to the next level, call my friends at Cutter's Edge Pro. I promise you they'll take care of you. They have been in business here in South Florida for over 20 years. Anywhere in South Florida, Dade, Broward, Palm Beach counties, 954-472-0622. Tree trimming and removals, landscape, outdoor lighting, our lights outside in our front yard. Backyard, we have them all white. But in our front yard, actually, they change colors. So if the Heat win, I can put them Heat colors. If the Panthers win, I can put them Panther colors. If it's Christmas, I could use the Christmas colors. If it's Breast Cancer Awareness Month, I can go pink. It's a beautiful thing, man. If Inter Miami wins, I can go pink. You know what I mean? And that's the beauty. You can do all of those kind of things with Cutter's Edge Pro. And, of course, if you have dogs like we do, the synthetic turf is second to none. Please call William or Mike for your home, your HOA, your business. Take it to the next level. Remember, the value of your home goes up to once you add landscaping. 954-472-0622. That's 954-472-0622 for CuttersEdgePro.com. And go to their Instagram page, Cutters Edge Pro, and go check it out, man. You'll love it. If Pee Wee Herman can get into the WWE Hall of Fame, then Kate Bush can definitely be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. You guys really elected Pee Wee Herman into the Wrestling Hall of Fame? Is that true? That is terrible. That is terrible. He also made it to the Masturbation Hall of Fame. I mean, that's what's wrong with you people in the WWE. Jimmy made it to the Super Bowl. Russ won a Super Bowl, and Watson was way better than Tua before his legal issues. It's okay if Tua's not above those guys. Too extreme, Big O. How much was the artificial turf for that piece of the backyard? You should go call them and find out is what you need to do, bro, because everybody's going to have a different price. You know what I mean? So one for you, it might be smaller, and it all depends on what kind of landscaping you're also going to add. Is it just turf? Is it landscaping, irrigation, lights? What are you going to do? That I can't give you a price on anything, bro, because that's not the way it goes. You got to call them. A phone call's free. Consultation is free, bro. Find out. Have them go to your house because they're going to have to measure. So it would be inaccurate for me to give you any kind of price. That's not my job, dude. I do this. This is my job. I'll talk to you about sports and crypto and music, but landscaping is not my thing. That's Cutter's Edge Pro. So call them 954-472-0622. Ask for William. Trust me, he'll take care of you. Good people. And tell him I sent you. When Steve Miller was nominated, he used that space to point out the problems with the Hall of Fame. I remember lack of women, no grassroots efforts to support musicians, horrific treatment of artists at Hall of Fame. Yep. Artists are treated like shit anyways, as it is. They're just used as pawns and pieces, and the record companies and everybody else takes advantage of them. That's why they make no money from selling music, and that's why they can only make money when they tour. They don't have control of the rights of their music at times. Most of the time, that is. So, yeah. Let's see. Jimmy, what do we got here? Anthony Davis was a beast last night. Lakers need that from him every night to beat the Warriors. Yeah, but the problem is you don't even know if he's gonna even stay on the damn court night in and night out. Nobody ever questions Anthony Davis's talent. That's never to be questioned. That's there, bro. It's can he stay healthy? Because he's unreliable. That's Anthony Davis's problem. I mean, anybody that questions his play, you're an idiot. You know he's supremely talented. You know he's a freak athletically. That size and everything, but unfortunately, he's not a durable person. That's the knock on Anthony Davis. Everyone knows he can ball, he can shoot, he can dribble, he can play in the paint, he passes the ball, he can do everything, dude. You know? Big O, is that a Barkov jersey? No, it's just a Panther jersey. That's all. It's a classic Panther jersey, and I would never own a Barkov jersey, as you know. So I'm sure that's probably why you brought it up, because I would never own a Barkov jersey. I'd own a Kachuk jersey, a Verhaeghe jersey, a Sam Bennett jersey. I'll buy a Montour jersey, but I would never get a Barkov jersey. No, not my kind of guy, unfortunately. All right, so last night, Knicks get it done against the Heat, 111-105. And Gabe Vincent didn't meet a shot he didn't like. He went 4 of 12 from three-point range. He ended up with 21 points. Not necessarily an efficient night for Gabe Vincent. But, hey, he stepped up, hit some shots in key moments, too. Caleb Martin was fantastic with 22 points, 4 of 8 from three-point range, 8 rebounds, sold himself out. We talked about it, slid right into the chairs. Strus, 17 points, also suffered a back injury, did have 5 turnovers in the game, shot 3 of 7 from three-point range. But I can't ask more from 3 guys that are undrafted in Martin, Vincent, and Strus. Okay, I don't know what more I can ask from those guys. You know, they combined to score 60 points. And the sad part about last night was that Martin, Gabe Vincent, and Strus did their best Jimmy Butler. They tried to be the number one, and together they were a number one. The problem is that Bam was a number 3, number 4 again. And in a night where Jimmy's not playing, you need to step forward. And you don't. And in 38 minutes, you produce 15 points, 8 rebounds, and 6 assists. And that stat line it's a good stat line for anybody, right? But for a guy you're paying, 30 plus million, you're paying him to become a franchise player, and he fails you all the time. He reminds me of Ryan Tannehill. You know how Ryan Tannehill at the end of the game would have some decent stats? And because, they'd be down by 14 or 17, and then he'd drive them down for 7 or 10 points and get the game a little closer, still lose, but pat those stats up a little bit. You know what I'm saying? And I get it, dude. He sets the pick. I get he'll get a rebound. I get he'll make a shot every once in a while or whatever. But he gets handled by bigger players. He gets his shot blocked all the time in the paint. He seems to mishandle the ball at times and kind of, with goofiness and turning it over. And he can't impose his will offensively. And to me, that's the part that hurt me in this game. And let me tell you something. I'm tired of all the excuses from those of you out there, including media members, that are just making excuses. Look, the Heat, unfortunately, Pat Riley has been in a real funk over the last 9 years where he has given out a lot of bad contracts. From Whiteside to Dion Waiters to Duncan Robinson to Bam Adebayo. This is a bad contract. What Bam Adebayo does is what role players do. And I get it. He's a super role player because he does it all. He's all over the place. But does he really defend the bigger players? Most of the time he can't. Does he outplay the bigger players in the paint? Most of the time he can't. Does he block a lot of shots? No. Does he alter a lot of shots? No. Because remember, it wasn't only the 2.5, 3 shots or 4 a game that Alonzo Mourning would block. It was 4 other shots that he altered. He didn't block them, but he got high enough and he got close enough that it made the player panic and arc it a little bit more or whatever it was, and the shot didn't fall. And he didn't get a block, but he altered it. And he can't do that either. And that's my problem with Bam. Bam is not a player that can impose his will on you defensively or offensively. Now, is he better with smaller players? Of course. But for a guy that tall, that athletic, that long, man, Dennis Rodman was shorter than you and got way more rebounds than you on average. Moses Malone at times was older than you and couldn't even jump more than 2 inches off the ground, but would get 15 rebounds sneezing. And to me, Bam Adebayo is a disappointment because he just doesn't have the dog in him. Yeah, he's a hustle player. Yeah, he's a blue-collar guy. Yeah, he does all the little things. Great, I'm glad you set that pick. But that's not what you pay franchise money for. And when you're watching the post-game press conference, last night, and here's Bam.
The way the Knicks are playing you, Bam, kind of loading up on you on the roll, does it feel like you're more of a playmaker in this series with the way they're playing you, and how different is it compared to maybe what you saw?
Nah, I just got to play better. I feel like this game was on me. And I lost it for us. So I gotta be better. I played terrible. So yeah, I put this one on me.
At least he's honest. That's Anthony Chang from the Miami Herald asking him that question. And I give him credit, but I'm tired of hearing it, bro. We're what, 5 years in, 6 years into your career already? If you're going to be a dog, you're going to be a dog. That shows from like the moment that Dwayne Wade hit that 3 from Charlotte. You see what I'm saying? That shows from the second that you step onto the court, you're either a dog or you're not. You either have it or you don't. And I don't have any more patience or time to wait for you. And, I get it. I know your role now. Set the pick, grab a rebound, assist, hand off, dribble, drive, whatever. Okay, dude, whatever. But I can't count on you to carry the team. I can only count on Bam to be complimentary. You didn't pay him to be complimentary, bro. You're not paying you're paying Lowry and Bam to be complimentary. When you paid LeBron, Wade, and Bosh the money, all three of them, and they wanted their money, they didn't get paid to be complimentary. They got paid to be stars. And, that's what you paid Zoe for. That's what you paid Timmy for. That's what you pay Shaq for. That's what you pay Butler for. And he delivers. And that's the bottom line. And you gave Lowry a contract to be a franchise player. And he's nothing more than a role player off the bench. You gave Bam a franchise contract. And he's nothing more than a super role player. Okay, remember, give me credit. I don't just call him a role player. I do call him a super role player because Bam is super at being a role player. But he is a role player. He's not a star. He's not a franchise player. Those are the kind of people that can carry your team. Those are the people that carry you to a victory. Like I had some guy on Twitter tell me today, well, what'd you want him to do? Score 30 and then they still lose? Oh, big deal. I told him, dude, he didn't score 30 and they lost. In other words, his statement was stupid because he didn't score 30. He didn't impose his will because if he did, they would have won the game. You see what Julius Randle did? Bam can't do. You see what Jalen Brunson did? Bam can't do. And Jalen Brunson doesn't reach Bam's knee. Okay? Jalen Brunson is a garden gnome with dreads, and he's got bigger balls than Bam ever will. So I don't want to hear, it's on me, and I should have done this, and I need to be more aggressive, and this and that. Brother, we all know that. You know that. The talk is cheap. Didn't you say you were going to be more aggressive in the offseason? Didn't you say well, then why couldn't you follow through the entire season? Why could you only do it for a couple of months? Because that's who you are. Because the fire has to be in you. Jimmy Butler wants to cut your heart out the second he gets out of bed. Michael Jordan wakes up in the morning and he's thinking about the Cavs and he's thinking about the Heat and the Knicks and he's thinking about how he's going to gut them like pigs. Alonzo Mourning walks onto the court, rubbing his hands like this and getting ready and flexing, and that's because he's ready to block your shit out of the paint and tap it to his teammate, by the way. It's there's a wire that's different in those people. Marino walks out there onto the field and he's licking his fingers and he's straightening out his pants and he's looking around and he's looking and it's 3rd and 17 and you're nervous in your seat and the coach is on edge and Marino's going, oh, this ain't shit. I can't wait for this. I know I'm going to burn that mofo right now. These people are wired differently. Look at Kachuk, the way he plays, and look at the way Barkov plays. It's different. Barkov is sacrificing, but he's sacrificing more about the team and kind of to help others, whereas Kachuk wants to lead. It's a difference. He wants his neck on the line. Bam is assisting to the guy that's going to put his neck on the line by making the key shot, drive, dunk, whatever it is. And the roles are supposed to be reversed. Bam is supposed to be the junkyard dog licking his chops, salivating that Jimmy Butler is out. Because he's like, I get to be the man today. I get to put Julius Randle through the hoop. I get to drive his ass crazy. You know, at the beginning of the game when he had a couple of drives and he drew a penalty and everything, and Randle was like, let's go. More. Did I get the Andrea True connection? I didn't. I didn't get more. You got to know music if you know what the hell I was talking about there. Anyway, so it's just frustrating, man. Bam is frustrating, is what it is. He's such a nice guy. He's such a decent human being that it apparently it's just not in him and never will be. I mean, if it isn't by now, then what the hell, dude? What the hell? You know? It's not like he has to hear the criticism. He has to know that people are talking about him, there's a reason why he was already talking about being aggressive in the offseason, because I'm sure he's heard it already. And I'm sure at one point or another in that building, they've told him, yeah, we need a little bit more out of you. And I'm watching 3 undrafted guys try to become the guy. It's bullshit. And the guy you drafted, the guy that's supposed to be the guy, is there setting picks and assisting and getting handled by Randall. Yeah. Not a fun to watch Bam Adebayo fail his way through this thing. Anyway, Miami has to do a better job on rebounding defensively and offensively and stop the second chance points. Game 3 in Miami. Let's go. Well, they were out rebounded 50-34, so you are correct. They got to do better. Bam, by the way, if you're not going to score, you end up with 8 rebounds. How about 18 rebounds? Bam gives you a little bit of everything, some scoring, some assists, some set screens, rebounds, and is asked to switch most of the time unless he's on zone defense. He's a really good complementary player. He's a, what is he, Lenny? He's a super role player. Let's give him credit, okay? He's not just a role player. He's a super role player, but they pay him to be a franchise player. I agree. He wasn't aggressive. I believe this because Gabe and Caleb were making shots. Yep. When Kate Bush was young, she had range that I've never heard anyone come close to. Still doesn't make her a Hall of Famer. Name me 5 bigs, 25 and under, as decorated and credentialed as Bam. Brother, it's not bigs that are credentialed. Just give me what? Jokic, you mean you're talking about? You're talking about like Embiid? Is that what you're talking about? Those kind of bigs? Because that's where he's supposed to be, right? If he's a franchise player, then act like one. There aren't a lot of bigs anymore in the league. But when it comes to certain bigs, yeah, he doesn't match up to those bigs. He has trouble with those bigs. There aren't a lot of them because that's not the way this league. If Bam was in the 90s, oh my God, he would be 15th because he doesn't have the aggressiveness to hang with those kind of guys. Those were dogs. Bam has yet to improve as a player to take over when he needs to, and that's his problem. You have undrafted players taking over for him, and that doesn't fly. No, it's embarrassing. Hartenstein came in and locked up Bam. I know there were times where Hartenstein just got the best of Bam. Big O, I think the Heat should try to trade him. I'm sick of Bam. He says the same thing after every playoffs. The problem is also you got to have like the right situation for him too, because you're spending a lot of money on him. Big O, the Panthers are reminding me of Neo in the Matrix. They're starting to believe. Bam was atrocious even at his supposed good spot, the mid-range, and at the rim. He missed so many easy shots. He did. He missed a bunch of shots yesterday. It was disgusting, the shots he missed yesterday. Yeah. 30+ million, and he's not even a Heat lifer, but a great super role player. He is a super role player. I'll give him that. Oh, what about canned heat for the Hall of Fame? Named after the practice of getting high off drink sterno gas. Street name, canned heat. I wouldn't put canned heat in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. What could you even get for Bam? I don't know. But I want Riley also to, stop giving out contracts that they don't deserve. It's too many bad contracts that he's given out, man. And that's been the problem ever since the big three. It's the Danny Granger. What was the guy's name from the former Laker? Like a Bob something, right? It was another Bob. Just a lot of them, man. And that's a shame. Whiteside and Johnson and Tyler and Dion and now this one and the Duncan and hell, they had to get a second rounder to get rid of Dedmon this year because he was under contract. It's just there's just too many of them. In the last 9 years, there have just been way too many bad contracts. And think about it. Through it all, Spo overcomes all of that. That's how good that guy is. That's to me, he proves all the time he's the best coach in the league. Yesterday he's missing his best player and missing Tyler, and his supposed franchise player ain't playing like a franchise player. 3 undrafted players are carrying that team. I don't know what more you can ask from Eric Spoelstra. That guy's just a phenomenal coach. He could have been up 2-0 yesterday. And they also helped out with the no call because that was a putback by the Heat to hit the rim. And they refused to review that one. That was a load of crap, too. It's amazing. All right. Hour number 2 coming up. Matt Verderam will join us, baby, next.
Welton Rayom has more than 62 years of litigation experience handling insurance disputes. They're committed to resolving even the toughest insurance claims quickly. Call them for a free consultation. 954-966-4646. At Welton Rayom, they don't get paid unless you win. Property damage claims to your home, business, or condo as a result of a hurricane. Welton Rayom can help. Water, mold, fire, smoke damage, Welton Rayom can help. Call 954-966-4646.
If you're a Miami sports fan, then there's only one store to go to, and that's Caneswear at Miami Fanwear in Davie. They're your one-stop shop for all your Inter Miami CF, Canes, Dolphins, Panthers, and Marlins merchandise. They have hats, t-shirts, game day jerseys, and so much more. Located at 2511 South University Drive in Davie, and open 24/7 online at caneswear.com or intermiamiwear.com. Call them at 954-835-5597. Caneswear, the spot where Inter Miami and all Miami sports fans shop.
When you move, you need a reliable company led by passionate folks, eager to assist its customers during a transitional process that needs to be smooth. Call Essential Moving Experts at 844-368-5750 for all your local and long-distance moving needs. You can rely on Essential Moving Experts. Mention the Big O Show and get $150 off. Family owned and operated, they offer free 30-day storage, full-service moving, fully licensed, bonded, and insured. Moving was never so easy. EssentialMovingExperts.com.
For over 16 years, EJDConstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDConstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDConstruction.com.
Viewpoint statements or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyAccess.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website. When it comes to South Florida sports teams, very few in the media have witnessed, lived, and covered it like the Big O. Let's start the program dedicated to your favorite South Florida teams with a passion that's unmatched. The Big O Radio Show is on. Here's the Big O.
There we go. Now we got it. How you doing, my man? You doing good?
Doing well. How are you?
I cannot complain, brother. I'm loving life. The Heat almost went up 2-0 last night. Panthers shocking the world again. One up on Toronto after taking out Boston. So, you know, our winter sports weren't looking that good, and all of a sudden now they're looking a little better. I don't know how much of that stuff you watched.
I watched a lot. I'm a Knicks fan, so I watched a lot of it.
Oh, okay.
And was
you're
having
not feeling really good. You're not feeling really good right now, no matter the win or anything, right?
I feel oddly about it. There's a part of me that feels like, look, I don't care in the playoffs. Like, I know some people be like, they barely beat them without Jimmy Butler. I don't care. They won. Like, it doesn't matter. It's a playoff game. They won the game. But I will say this. The biggest concern I have is Miami offensively all year long couldn't score. And then against Milwaukee turned into the 80s Lakers. And now, like, all just drilling shots left and right. Like, Martin, Vincent, all these guys. You're like, yeah, no, it's fine. But, like, now they're playing really well. I think a lot of it for the Knicks is going to depend upon they need Brunson to play the way he played in the second half of that game and not in the first. And that defensively, he's going to get torched. It doesn't matter. But offensively, he's got to score. In the first half, he couldn't score. In the first game, he couldn't score. And I also, for the Panthers, I've watched a lot of it. I'm a Devils fan. And so I am thrilled. The Panthers knocking out the Bruins. Awesome. Couldn't be any happier. And by the way, all the credit in the world to them. Down 3-1. Won 2 games on the road in overtime, came back over and over, came back in game 6 over and over. So kudos to a good team.
Came back down 1 minute left in the season, down 3-2.
They've been a great story, and they're good, and they're well coached. And they listen, Toronto, they can beat Toronto. Toronto is a very good team, but Toronto's not Boston. Like, Toronto's good, but the Panthers can score goals against Toronto.
I think the part with the Panthers, the difference between the Heat and the Panthers, I'm way more impressed with the Panthers. I think the Panthers were injured all year.
Yeah.
And then you brought in Maurice, so you changed the entire system and the way you were going to play because you wanted to play more physical style, slower style to get a more playoff style. Right. And so then you had to adjust. Now everybody got healthy, including Bennett got healthy in the last series that he came in the second game, I think it was, when he was finally healthy. So you got Duclair right before the season ended, and then all of a sudden they started to play better. So it seems like they're a team on the rise at the right time. Whereas the Heat, well, Giannis went out the first 2 games.
Yep.
So that opened the door for you. You took advantage. You split the series. And then when Giannis came back, you beat him twice. So it was over. And then now you're taking on the Knicks, which they're not a great team or anything. You know what I mean? And you beat them already with Jimmy. And last night, you could have won that game without Jimmy and without Tyler, without Oladipo. Strus got injured and all that. And you still could have won that game. And they should have, by the way, reviewed that play because it hit the rim and it was a putback.
Yeah, that was weird. I was surprised they didn't review that. It's funny because I follow, for whatever reason, I have a lot of Heat fans on my Twitter feed. And I also, of course, have a lot of Knicks fans. It's funny that both fan bases have complained nonstop about the officiating. Like in game 1, Knicks fans were like, the Heat are setting these screens, it can't set. And then like last game, it was like, well, the Knicks are getting away with stuff. My answer to that for both fan bases.
That one play is the play they got away with.
That's I agree. It was a bad call. Bad call.
Go look at all the other calls. They were normal calls. They were calls that everybody deserved to get. That call changed the aspect again right there.
To every fan base, I always say the same thing with the NBA. Except the fact that during every game, there's going to be a half dozen calls. Your mind is just blown. Every game. And it's not like there are calls in both of these games, both ways. You're like, what? Why? Like, how is that foul? I mean, there was, but it's one of those things where the NBA, I think, should be the easiest sport to officiate. And somehow I think it's the worst officiated sport in the world. Like, they just can't officiate anything. I mean, There was one play. It was literally the first possession of the game. Julius Randle was dribbling and turned his entire palm and just held the ball for about a second and then started dribbling. No call. Like, I'm a Knicks fan.
They don't call that, but they don't call that nobody.
No, I know that. It's crazy. But in any event, the NBA, it's been wide open in these playoffs. A lot of injuries, a lot of surprises. So heading to Miami for games 3 and 4. We'll see. We'll see what happens.
Yeah. If Jimmy plays, I feel really good. I just think that, not for nothing, but I think they have the edge in the coach. I think Spo runs circles around Tibbs. Tibbs to me is an effort coach. He gets you to work hard and play hard on defense and all that. And Spo will do that too, but then he will outthink your ass and he'll outplay your ass and he'll run plays and he'll run circles around you. You know what I mean? And there's a moment where Brunson did something that was bad. It was like, and then they show Tibbs and he's like, has this shit face looking at Brunson coming back on the court. Like, why did you do that? And it's like, and that's the difference between him and Spo, where Spo would have no change in his face and he'd just keep going. Tibbs to me is too emotional at times. And then that's where he wears on his whole franchise and his players. That's why he never can stay in any place very long. And in a couple of years, the Knicks will make a change because he will wear out whoever he's coaching.
I think the big thing for the Knicks in this series, and I agree with you, everything you said, I think that for me, the series is going to come down to the Knicks bench. The Knicks bench is one of the best in the league. It has not been good so far in the series. If the Knicks bench can get going, and a lot of that includes hitting 3-pointers from outside, I think they have a pretty good shot to win the series. If they don't, and they can't score off the bench, then they got a problem. That being said, I think it's going to be a 6 or 7 game series. I think it's going to go, long. Look, there's going to be a game for both these teams where they just, one of them can't shoot one night and they score 85 points. Like, it's just, I think if you're Miami, look, you go home, you win these 2 games, you're probably going to win the series. If you split these two, if you're the Knicks, you just say, look, split them and get back to the Garden. And then, hey, look, win one of game 5 and 6, and you got game 7 in your building, and you take it from there. But it's going to be interesting. I think it's going to be a long series.
By the way, yeah, it should be a long series. It should be 6 or 7. But you know what is funny? That they got to stop with this rivalry shit.
I know. It hasn't been a rivalry in 20 years.
Right. There is no rivalry. You got to
keep showing pictures of like
with this already, bro. I know. Maybe you can start a rivalry again, but not one Heat player and not one Knicks player is part of anything memorable in a rivalry between these two.
You weren't even old enough to remember it.
Talking about, bro. It's just, and all they have to do, and all they can show is Zoe and Ewing and all those days, because that's what was actually a rivalry.
Yes.
There hasn't been a rivalry in decades, dude.
With all due respect to everybody in the chat as a Heat fan. As a Knicks fan, I'm 34 years old. I hated the Heat with a passion. At this point, I don't care. But if the Heat win this series, I will root for them to beat the Sixers or the Celtics. Either one of them. I hate those teams infinitely more than I have anything from the Heat. I hated the Heat as a kid, but it hasn't mattered in over 20 years.
Yeah. I mean, it's just, it hasn't, these two teams have not had a rivalry in forever, because the Knicks
have been awful for 20 years.
Right. The Knicks
rivalry with nobody.
They need to beat the Heat a couple of series before we start saying, okay, now we got a rivalry. Now you're not beating the Knicks. Now you got to beat them. And then that's when it becomes a rivalry. You know what I mean? But it's just, it's so silly that we try to manufacture this bullshit. By the way, you did see Aaron Rodgers and Sauce hanging out. Although there was moments where I'm thinking Rodgers is just kind of doing this for show. Like, see, I'm Mr. Team Guy and socializing. I just kind of have a hard time, buying it. But what are your thoughts on that?
He's everywhere now. He's at every game at the Garden, and it's funny because like I said earlier, I'm also a Devils fan. The Devils are playing the Rangers, so like 2 games he shows up and he's like assumingly there to be a Knicks fan, although he's not a Knicks fan. And then he shows up and he's rooting for the Rangers, and as a Devils fan, I'm like, oh, I hope you go home miserable. And so and the Devils ended up winning the series, which is that. Now that's a rivalry. That was beautiful. But in any event, I mean, look, he's there because it's like a little camera time. Now, Randall Cobb is a Jet because, of course, he is. It's just.
Does he give Rodgers a commission also, by the way? I mean,
better. It's just one of those things you're like, it all follows a similar pattern, right? Like, he shows up, he's in charge, all these people start, like, he has his own people that come with him. If I were the Jets, I would have been like, why do we need Randall Cobb? For what reasoning? Why is he here? Like, no, we're not signing him. I mean, you already brought in Lazard, which is fine. He's a good player. You have Garrett Wilson.
Yeah.
You have McCole Hardman, who you brought in. I mean, how many guys do you need to play receiver on this team? I mean, Cobb's not exactly running out there playing special. So, like, he's not going to take up a spot there. I don't understand the Jets, but again, they're the Jets. So I don't understand. They still have Corey Davis. They still have Denzel Mims. I mean, how many? Who's playing special teams out of that group? Anybody? They're going to run a bunch of offensive linemen down the field. What are they going to do?
And they didn't load up in the draft for O-linemen, which
tackling the 3rd round. It was
I thought that was a mistake on their part because their line wasn't great. And on paper, in theory, you get a guy like this, you're supposed to be a contender, and people will look at it that way. But you just kind of get the feeling with the way things are going that, you're catering to this guy. You're letting him becomes kind of your pseudo GM and shit. It's almost like, okay, this is going to be a disaster almost. You almost get that feeling. And the fact that he's like also leaving year 2 in the wind, and you don't really know and all that. So you're really not going in fully committed. You know what I mean? Because physically you should have easily 2 years left in your body, but yet you're not even willing to commit more than 1 year. So, it's almost like, well, let me see how things go, and then maybe I'll think about, the following season. There's something about this that just doesn't jive. I don't know what it is. It's weird.
Yeah, I don't disagree.
It's weird. Can't put my finger on it, but it's just something weird that it just doesn't. I almost feel like when you start giving the keys to the kingdom to, the players, then that's when you start to get in trouble. And I know it worked out with Brady, You know, you go to Tampa, and he brought in a couple of his guys, and it
he's
ended up
great.
working out. But that's the guy that's won a shitload of titles already. You know what I'm
it's
saying?
different.
And by the way, the Tampa defense was already a top 10 defense going in, too, on top of that.
And Brady brought in Gronkowski, who's a first ballot Hall of Famer. And he brought himself in, who's a first ballot Hall of Famer. Like Aaron Rodgers is not bringing in first ballot Hall of Famers. Aaron Rodgers is bringing in Randall Cobb, who, would you like to take a guess the last time Randall Cobb has had 1,000 yards in a season?
Oh, Jesus, 10 years ago?
The answer would be 2014. 2014.
I'm not bad. I was off by 1 year.
Pretty close. And it's the only time he's ever had over 1,000 yards. Like, look, Randall Cobb was a good player.
Yeah.
Randall Cobb has been a hood ornament now for 3 years. Like, I mean, he's 33 years old. How many more years of Randall Cobb do you need? Like, I don't understand what's happening. Like, I don't know why the Jets feel so competitive. He's on your team. What is he going to do? Like, force his way out of town now? I mean, it's crazy.
Yep. By the way, I'm reading something. I don't want you to be nervous now, but this has just come up on the wire here. Scientists have watched a planet being eaten by a star for the first time, and it could happen to Earth. Researchers have seen stars just before or after they eat entire planets whole. But a new study marks the first time that scientists have watched it happen. And they reach the end of their lives. Stars grow to about 1 million times their original size, eating up any planets and other objects that might be around them. The violent event happened in our own galaxy, about 12,000 light years away. Scientists believe astronomers watched it as a star grew to about 100 times brighter over a period of 10 days and then faded away.
Great.
We could be eaten by a star.
All right. Well, then I don't have to work anymore, so that's fine.
We don't have to pay our bills anymore.
That's right.
Hey, what the
There
hell?
are worse ways to go.
Yeah. When they call you, hey, you haven't paid your mortgage. Well, we're about to be eaten by a star. Why
Doesn't
should I
matter.
pay my mortgage? I won't have a home in just a few minutes. Don't you see that big ass Pac-Man coming our way? I had no idea that stars had hunger.
I also did not know they could eat something.
Hey, listen, we have one in town. His name is Bam Adebayo. He has no hunger.
Well, he would have fit in with the Knicks for the last 20 years, who also collectively had no hunger for 20 straight years.
Seriously, they're paying that guy $30-something million.
It's not great.
And I basically call him a super role player because that's what he is. He really is a super role, not a role player. I give him credit at least. He's a super role player. Defends everything, sets picks, assists. But, last night, Jimmy's out. All right, dude, let's go impose your offensive will.
Right.
No. It's 3 undrafted guys leading the Heat last night.
I will say that is one thing that amazes me about them, because I'll be the first to admit, I saw them, 10 times this season, whatever. Like, there are guys in the Heat that, I've heard of them, but you're like, all right, what? And then, like Vincent's just raining threes. You're like, my God, what is happening? The guy's just drilling shots. Caleb Martin's a very good defensive player, can score some.
He's good. He's the best all-around player they have out of that group.
Yeah, he is. And then Kevin Love, by the way, let me say this. So he was on the Cavs. They released him for nothing. The Knicks played the Cavs. The Cavs could have been bringing the two of us off the bench. Every time they brought off their bench, the Knicks would just murder their bench. It's going like a 20-2 run.
Yeah.
And now they get the Knicks. Now, Kevin Love, historically, has killed the Knicks, and he just kills them. Every time he goes up, it kills him every time he sees him. I have a deep-seated fear of Kevin Love. He could play when he's 50, and if he raises up for a jumper, I'm scared. In fact, last night, he missed 2 free throws, which is extremely rare. It's like a 90%.
Yeah. I was like, well, damn, dude.
Him missing 2 free throws against the Knicks was like a solar eclipse. I couldn't believe he even missed 1, let alone missed 2 of them. But yeah, it's look, we all know there's going to be a game in this series at some point where one of these guys, and maybe it's Vincent, maybe it's Martin, maybe it's Quickly, maybe it's Toppin, have a game where they score like 20 points in the second half, and that's why one of these teams wins a game. But it's going to be interesting. I get a long break. I got to wait till Saturday to play game 3. So it's good for Butler. It's good for, I think it's honestly good for Randall. Who actually played very well last night, but his ankle needs to heal. So we should see much healthier teams, I would think, on Saturday.
All right. I gave the Dolphins an A+ for their draft.
Okay.
Now, hold on.
I did not.
They spent their first round pick on Bradley Chubb. They spent their second round pick on Cam Smith. Their third round pick on Jalen Ramsey.
I got you.
Devon Achane was the other third round pick.
Right.
Tyreek Hill for the fourth round pick. Jeff Wilson Jr. for the fifth round pick. Sixth round pick Elijah Higgins, and seventh round pick Ryan Hayes, the offensive tackle. So if I tell you you have 8 picks, and this is what you did with the 8 picks. No, because this is the reality. This is what they did with their 8 picks. Okay. And by the way, I do love the Cam Smith pick because
I do too. I do like that.
I told everybody last year in the summer that Byron Jones will get cut this year, and sure enough, he'll get cut now, and in the summer, and then next year X will get cut. Well, Cam Smith is the guy that plays on the outside, and I think Fangio feels that Kohu and Needham are more inside guys. So he's going to need somebody to play when he puts Ramsey inside. He'll put Cam outside. And when X leaves next year, Cam will take over opposite of Ramsey as your starter. So to me, that pick helps this year and has the foresight for the future. And plus, he has talent because I talked to my guys around the league, and they liked him as late first and early second as it is. And then the other kid, A-Chain, he added a speed back, and I know what he's doing out of the backfield. So he added one more guy with Mostert, and now you've got Mostert and him coming out of the backfield with Tyreek and Waddle. Holy shit. What secondary is going to hang with those 4 guys out in the open field? Nobody. So I see the method behind the madness, but if you take into account what they specifically did with all their picks, what's the grade?
So if I did it the way you did it, and I included Ramsey and Hill and Chubb, which is fine, I understand the thought process, then yeah, I'm probably with you. I mean, you're talking now.
That's what you did.
Well, that's not what I did, because when I graded them for SI, I graded them based on just their actual 4 rookies.
That's not fair. That's not fair.
That's what I did. Whether you think it's fair or not is irrelevant. That's what I did. So I graded these guys. Now, look,
you didn't include all the facts. That's
the problem. The draft class. I included. They picked at the clock. Okay, look. Now, if you want to talk, if you're including those guys with those, which is fine, then absolutely. If Tyreek Hill and Jalen Ramsey. Here, you know what? Here's the best way I can frame this. Okay, I'm going to spoil something for you. I'm going to give you guys a little know-how here before I even do this. I am going to pick the Dolphins to win the AFC East this year. I think they're the best team in the division.
Well, you're the second person on this show that's done it because I did it. So go ahead.
I am taking the Dolphins. I think that now, of course, and I know you'd agree with this, the big looming question is Tua's health. Okay, we all know this. If he is reasonably healthy, plays 15 games, let's say. Exactly. Tua, right there. Okay. If he plays 15 games, let's say, 15 or more games, I think they will win the division. I think they are better than the Bills at this point. I do. I think it's close. I don't think it's a blowout, but I do think they're better than the Jets. I gave them, I believe it was a D+ in the draft because it took 4 guys. I mean, that was my reasoning. Now, my reasoning is I like the Cam Smith pick a lot because I also talked to people in the league who thought he was late first, early second. So I like that pick. I think it's a very good pick. I think he'll play. I think he's going to be a nice player. The other guys this year, you never know with the backs. The back could have 1,000 yards. The back could have 200 yards. You just don't know. You don't know how often he's going to play.
But this guy's not an every down back. This is a complimentary back and a return.
Right. And you don't know. I say this about every running back other than a Bijan Robinson. You just don't know how often they're going to play and what role they're going to have and how often they're going to on the field. They can pick up a blitz, whatever. So I will say, I think if you're looking and you include all of it, and Hill and Ramsey and Chip, then yeah, absolutely. They get an A. I mean, who the hell did more at the draft picks than the Dolphins? So, I mean, if you want to look at it that way, sure. I looked at it as they took 4 guys, and I don't care who you take. If you take 4 guys, I can't really give a huge grade because you're not going to get the cream of the crop because you're not picking all the second round. All that said,
it's unfair, but I get
it. Now, hey, makes you feel better. I gave Denver a D+, and I thought Denver had an atrocious draft. And it had nothing to do with the fact they didn't have a lot of picks. I mean, Denver took a receiver with its first pick, and Denver has 3 receivers that are already starting. I don't understand what's happening there. But I do think Miami overall, I just wrote this for something that we're going to publish soon. I forget what it even is, honestly. You can make an argument nobody's added more talent to their roster in the last 3 years than Chris Greer has. You could argue other teams have added, similar to the Niners, maybe. I mean, some of the, Cincinnati certainly has added a ton.
Dude, I trip out when somebody complains about Chris Greer, and I turn to them and I say, dude, this is the best Dolphins team you've had in like 20 years. This is the best quarterback you've had since Marino. What are you talking about, bro? They can challenge the Bills and possibly win the division. Yes, how is he not doing a good job? What is wrong with him?
Look, if you assume health, which of course is a huge assumption, if you assume that Tua is healthy, I went through, I know what I wrote it for, because I wrote about, we're doing a piece coming up about team needs, the remaining team needs. And I got to tell you, I had a hard time finding Miami. I mean, look, there's a couple spots on the offensive line you could sit there and point to and say, okay, right. I mean, right tackle being one of them. But like, I really sat there, and I think I even wrote one of them as edge, and not because they need edge rushers, Phillips and Chubb, right? But I said they just need to produce more than they produced down the stretch last year. Chubb needs to produce more. I love Phillips. I think he's going to be a really, really good player. And Chubb is a really good player when he's healthy, and he's now that he's in a new.
He's got his defensive coordinator now in Fangio.
I was going to say right, Fangio's in, he knows the system. So basically, my need thought there was they have the players, they just need to produce there. But listen, I would make a strong argument. I think the Dolphins.
By the way, that secondary is going to make those pass rushers even better this year.
Absolutely. Look, I think you can make a very strong argument. I am making the argument. I think the Dolphins are more talented than Buffalo is. I do. I mean. The concern I have with the Bills right now is you look at the Bills and look, Allen's phenomenal. Diggs is a great player. You get past that, and it's like Gabe Davis has games where he's great. He has a lot of games where he doesn't do much. I like Dawson Knox a lot. They just drafted a first-round tight end. They just paid Knox a fortune. I mean, this if one more person says Dalton Kincaid's going to be Travis Kelce, I'm going to throw myself at the mercy of whoever that person. Please stop. Like, Dalton Kincaid might be a very good player. Dalton Kincaid might end up being Eric Ebron. You don't know. Nobody knows. Like, you don't know what he's going to be. And defensively, losing Edmonds, I think they'll be all right. I mean, they have Milano, but you look down the middle of that defense now, and it's Ed Oliver on a one-year deal at this point. You have Edmonds who's gone. The safeties are both over 30 years old. They're both hurt last year. White came back last year and did not play to the level he played prior. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't great. If the Dolphins are healthy, to me, that team, they almost went to Buffalo and beat them last. They should have beat them. Should have beat them in the regular season and the playoff game with Skylar Thompson. So I actually think Miami's the best team in that division, and I think is ready to really contend with the big boys.
I agree. By the way, kudos to Houston. I don't know. What'd you give them? You gave them an A, right? Because I thought they did.
A or A minus. Yeah, I can't remember off the top of my head. But yeah. You know, everybody killing them for trading up for Will Anderson. Like, they gave up these picks. If Will Anderson ends up being a 8-time Pro Bowler, who cares? I have people
trade up for pass rushers, bro. You do what you can for franchise pass rushers.
You need to look, and Miami's figuring this out, and it's where you win with stars in the NFL. I don't care. You can build a team of 40 guys who are solid players, and you're going to be a good team, and you're never winning anything. You're never winning the Super Bowl. You need to have guys who in big games can swing a game, whether that is a 3rd and 11 and a big catch, whether that's a pick in a big spot or breaking up a pass.
It's what the Rams did a couple of years ago when they traded all their picks for stars, and they won, and they got their title.
You win. I mean, look, everybody knows the Chiefs, right? Like, they win the Super Bowl because they have Mahomes and they have Kelsey and they have Chris Jones. Now, other guys matter. I'm not saying of course they matter, but those guys change the game. Those guys alter everything that happens around them. And I think right now at the Dolphins have Hill. They have Waddle. Tua played very well last year when he was healthy. Armstead another guy went healthy, but he's a franchise left tackle when he's healthy. They have Ramsey now. They have Holland, who's an excellent, underrated player nationally. They have Howard, who needs to bounce back. I think he's and
you mentioned it, and I agree with you.
Wilkins.
Phillips is about to become a star. Yeah, Wilkins is
very good player.
But Jalen Phillips is it's like a volcano that is about to explode, and you're just seeing the progression. And I believe that light is going to go full green right now this year. He's going to look like Gabe Vincent as he walks into the gym and he's open on every shot.
I just look at the Dolphins and say, listen, right now, I think they're at minimum as talented as Buffalo. Now, again, there's questions with health and all that, but I think the Dolphins are positioned to challenge them. Now, I do think it's going to be very tight. I think the Jets are going to be involved. I think the one thing I can declaratively say, the Patriots are the worst team in that division. I would be shocked if they're not. And if they're not, it's going to be because of injury. It's going to be because some team got beat up. But to me, I look at the AFC East and go, the Jets, the Bills, the Dolphins, and I think the Bills and the Dolphins, frankly, even a little bit more. But all three of them, I think are going to be right around 11 wins because they have a hard schedule this year. Tough schedule. AFC West this year. Got to play the NFC East. So and they got to play each other. So it's a hard schedule, which is why I don't think any of them are going like 14-3. But I think it's going 11 to 12 wins, right in that range. And a lot of it's going to come down to those divisional games. Can you steal one on the road? Can you hold serve at home? But I think Miami's in a spot where the last couple of years I thought they'd be a playoff team, maybe a wild card team. I think this year they can actually win the division and really, really be a team that makes a run.
I'm with you there, man. I and by the way, I'm hoping it's Miami KC Thursday night to open the season.
That'll be wild.
And if the NFL's smart, Tua is going to be there for that game. So
True.
Why schedule it a month or 8 weeks down the line when
True.
I hope not. I think he's going to play smart and stay away from the stupid hits. But you just never know, unfortunately, because that's his history, unfortunately. I would schedule, and plus with everything that Miami's done this offseason and KC, obviously, that would be, I think, the sexiest matchup you can put on week 1 on a Thursday night.
My guess is, and I have no inside information on this. My guess is it'll be the Chiefs and the Eagles again. Because
you
that's
think they'll match? Wow, okay.
The Chiefs' home schedule is insane. Play Miami, they play Buffalo, they play Cincinnati, they play Philadelphia. There's a lot of games to pick from. My guess is that that's what they'll do because I think it's also nice to it's an interconference matchup. So it's I like to see those big games like with Miami and Cincy and Buffalo later in the year when you have an idea of how big of a game it is for the standings. But to your point, I also understand that. And hell, I'll be honest, if I was Miami, I'd rather play when it's 75 out than when it's 10.
Right, yeah. See, that's right. Yeah. And
it's like when you go to Buffalo every year, you'd always rather play. Like if you're going to play in Buffalo, you'd rather play him in September, right? You'd rather get him out. The last thing you want to do is go up there in friggin' January when it's 2 degrees out, there's a foot of snow. It's just like if
it's the reverse. They want to come play us in December.
Yes, I was just going to say, if you're a team visiting them, you absolutely you want to go. You want to go to Miami when it's Christmas. Okay,
right.
You don't want to go. You don't want to go in September. It's brutal out. There's a reason Miami wore white all those years when Don Shula changed it at the Orange Bowl, right? Because it's really hot. So all that stuff factors in.
There was a year or two where Stephen Ross asked the NFL to schedule the early season games in the afternoon. It was like, yo, what are you doing, bro? You got to go 1 o'clock. Because he was doing it for the fans. It's like, no, dude, you do it for the players so that you can have it expected. What is wrong with you? But that's our owner.
It's like Minnesota putting a dome on the stadium. What are you doing? What are you doing? Why would you put a dome on it? Just let the place be open. Let it be miserable. Who cares? Get your advantage. I've said,
those places you should put a dome, but you should only have it for. It's domed up until kickoff, and then 15 minutes before kickoff, you then unleash so that way you don't let all the elements in before, and you got to shovel 10 feet of snow out of your damn stadium. That to me makes no sense. Like Buffalo should build a dome, so that way, you don't get all snowed in. You keep the snow out, but then when the game starts, the elements come in, wind, snow, all that, and then you can deal with whatever happens during the game. And everybody's even level playing field. But, you should use it as strategic. But if you're Minnesota or Buffalo, brother, you want the elements on your side, man.
Yeah.
Shit.
Yes.
Hell yeah.
You're crazy if you don't. That's part of football. You imagine the Steelers putting a dome on the stadium. Come on. That's who you are.
Your team, Kansas City. You don't want to go in December in Kansas City.
No.
That's going to be terrible to go to December, early January in Kansas City. Yeah. You know what you're facing, a loud-ass stadium, and it's going to be cold as hell.
Yeah.
And if you're a warm weather team, you're not going to enjoy that. That's just the way it goes.
I remember as a kid, and obviously I didn't have a rooting interest really, but I would go to, well, not MetLife, Giant Stadium, old Giant Stadium. Let me tell you something. You went that game, you knew the wind was going to play a factor at that stadium because the wind, I mean, throwing the ball. In fact, in the 86 title game when the Giants played the then Redskins, they won the toss. They took the wind because they said, we don't care. We'll give Washington the ball to start both halves. We want the wind. Washington can score a point the whole game. I mean, so you always want the elements in your favor. Always.
I'm with you there. All right. What do you got working Sports Illustrated so folks can check you out?
Well, I can piss off every Dolphins fan because my draft grades are up for the AFC. So that's fine. But understand that I actually am picking you to win the division. So don't kill me too much. I have team needs. I worked on it with my coworker, Gilberto Manzano. We have that coming out later this week. I have 5 guys who I think might end up being busts in the AFC coming out Friday. And then we got a ton of stuff around the schedule release, a ton. So next week, make sure to bookmark si.com, keep it locked there. And if you haven't checked it out, it came out last week, still up. You can search my name and SI, and it'll come right up. The 1983 draft, I wrote the cover story for us, the daily cover. I was really proud of the way that turned out. It was a lot of fun. There's some great stuff in there about Marino, Elway, of course. Really enjoyed that one. So if you want to check that out, go ahead.
Nothing on Jackson Mahomes?
No. Hey, listen, I don't get into the legal stuff. I let the lawyers do that. We have a whole team of people who can write about that stuff. Now
today, Patrick's like, man, I'm not going out, bro. I'm going to stay home. I'm just going to stay away from everything and anything out there. I don't want to go anywhere, whatever. Poor guy, bro.
Oh,
I mean, Jesus.
No. Just stay. Like, what? Why? Just. Well, but no, I'm not writing that. I'm not writing any. Nope. I'm not getting involved.
I can imagine the Chiefs family's like, yeah, just keep that kid away from our stadium. That's all. Just keep him away from us. That's it. All right. Yeah. Follow him on Twitter at Matt Verderam. Catch his work there at Sports Illustrated and read up on his unfair grade of the Miami Dolphins.
That's right. I don't care how unfair you think it is. Read it and scream at me. I don't care. But read it.
All right, Matt. We'll catch up next week, my brother. Appreciate you.
Take care, man.
You got it. Matt Verderam, baby. Oh, Lordy. Sports Grill, 8 great locations. Make sure you lock it in. Got the new location in Doral. Love that location in Doral, close to my house. Plus, it is delicious food. Get some special grilled wings. You could take home the sauces. It's a beautiful thing. And it's Wednesday. Kids eat free with the purchase of an adult entree. Sportsgrill.com. Check it out on social media. And hey, man, we got the Panthers and the Heat in action. Great place to catch the games at Sports Grill. 8 locations. Go to sportsgrill.com and check out the nearest one to you. All right. Oh, man. Jackson Mahomes. Holy shit. That is one weird dude. That's all I can tell you. One weird dude. Sean, let me ask you, did you listen to the Heat game when you were watching it last night, or did you have the volume off, or you had it down? Oh, okay. All right. It was kind of odd at times. What are you going to say?
Honestly, I had it down.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I figured when you went like that, so I got you. But it was kind of weird because is it Ian Eagle that was making the call in the game yesterday? I think it was. And I think he's born here in Miami, if I'm correct. But I know he kind of went to school up north and has done a lot of work up north and all that kind of stuff. But was it just me, or there seemed like there was a little extra sauce when the Knicks would make a good play? Hell, when Miami missed the shot right down at the end, towards the end of that game, there was a lot of enthusiasm about the Heat miss, so, and I went back and listened. There were some calls where we had some enthusiasm also with the Heat calls, but there was just, it seemed like there was a little bit more of an oomph for the New York calls. I don't know. It was maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm just hearing things or whatever, but it was just kind of, I don't know if anybody else noticed it on the TV calls. And again, I'm pretty sure the guy that was announcing is born here in Miami. Okay. So, now I know he's done most of his work up north. So, but it was just kind of funny. I don't know if anybody looked at it the same way, or maybe I didn't. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Won't be the first time. We have way too much talent. We're not going to be denied this year. Fins up. I do love the talent this year. Bradster says Messi is leaving PSG. Will he be coming to Inter Miami? Your thoughts, Bigo? Dude, I've thought from the get-go that he's coming here. Now, Inter has not given his number to anybody. Even Bouquet, the other guy that they're getting, they've saved his number. They're not selling single game tickets for the second half of the season. They're not. You can't buy them. They don't allow you to buy single game tickets for the second half of the season. There's a lot of things that look like they're preparing for the move to bring him here. I may be completely wrong, or maybe it's contingent. It's one of the, or not contingent. It's just responsible. Maybe they don't know if they're going to get him or not, but if they can, they have to be prepared in order to do it. So they're kind of setting it up. So either they're setting themselves up just in case they're lucky enough to land him, or they've set everything up to land him. But all I know is, and he just got fined and suspended by his current club for some thing with Saudi Arabia or something. I forgot what it was, how the story goes. But he hasn't signed with the Saudi league. He hasn't signed with anybody else, and his contract's going to expire. And to me, that makes no sense whatsoever. It's the weirdest thing that a guy that's that valuable could risk injury or anything like that and not have a new contract. So I think he's coming here. I think they're going to give him a team and everything. I think they're giving him an expansion team. I think Miami will pay him his, salary, and I'm sure there'll be some kind of sponsorship, tied to it. Plus, Apple just purchased the rights to the MLS, and wouldn't they want to get Messi in here because it'll bring up the value? And having said that, I have something for you that you're going to freak out on, okay? Even if you're not a soccer fan, you'll freak out on. Yeah, I said it. Here's your KSDT CPA Sports Business Report. So, when sports and business collide, we like doing something called the KSDT CPA Sports Business Report. So I told you Apple just got the deal with the MLS, right? I think it's like 10 years or something like that. And Messi's out there, okay? And I told you that I think Apple's going to be part of this, that they want to bring Messi over on top of that with the MLS and Miami. This season marks 10 years since Manchester United won the Premier League title, and the club has lost money in 4 of the past 5 seasons. But the slump on and off the field did not deter a pair of bidders from offering at least $6 billion for the Red Devils after the Glazer family hired Rain Group in November to consider all strategic alternatives. Multiple private equity firms are also mulling minority investments in the club. The ongoing sale process kicked off months after 2 other money-losing global soccer giants changed hands in 10-figure valuations. In May, Todd Bowley and Clear Lake Capital completed the purchase of Chelsea for $3.16 billion. Redbird Capital Partners bought AC Milan of Italia's Serie A 4 months later for $1.2 billion. These are 3 of the 15 most valuable soccer clubs on the planet. European football is the best live event intellectual property in the world. Redbird founder Jerry Cardinal said, The private equity firm manages $8.6 billion in assets, and Cardinal helped build up the Yes Network, On Location and Legends, but he sees a substantial opportunity in global football. All right? So, nonetheless, investors are flocking to soccer with an eye towards professionalizing the business side of these clubs and improving profitability. The result? Soaring valuations for football teams around the world. Sportico spoke to more than 24 bankers, lawyers, and investors directly involved in soccer to gauge the 50 most valuable soccer teams. Okay? All right? Are you ready? Are you ready to find out about the most valuable teams? Number 1 is Manchester United at $5.9 billion. Real Madrid is number 2 at $5.2 billion. Barcelona's at $4.9. Liverpool's at $4.7 billion. Bayern Munich, $4.4 billion. Manchester City, $4.4. My Arsenal, $3.6 billion. Chelsea, $3.4. PSG, Paris Saint-Germain, $3.4. Tottenham Hotspur, $3.1. Juventus, $1.7. Borussia Dortmund, $1.6 billion. Atletico Madrid, $1.5 billion. AC Milan, $1.2 billion. Inter Milan, $1.1 billion. Do you know who's number 16? The Los Angeles FC of the MLS, $900 million. Do you know who's number 17? The LA Galaxy, $865 million. Do you know who's number 18 in the world? The Atlanta United, $855 million. Do you know who's number 19? Olympique Lyonnais, Liga 1, $825 million. And then rounding out the top 20, Roma, $765 million. Point is, 3 MLS teams are already in your top 20 most valuable soccer teams in the world. Do you think Apple doesn't see that? Do you think sponsors don't see that? Right? So all you have to do is continue on this path and start to sign some of these stars, get some of the young stars to come over and grow up here. And guess what happens? MLS continues to grow and grow and grow. Values of the team will grow and grow and grow. Revenue streams will grow and grow. If you bring Messi, the revenue streams of Inter Miami CF grow exponentially. And then not only do the revenue streams of Inter grow, but the MLS revenue streams grow. And then other stars will continue to come on over, and then that will continue to raise the value of all these clubs. Inter Miami's value alone will start to soar just by adding Messi, because then comes every sold-out stadium that you play in, because Messi will sell out here in Miami every game, and wherever he goes in the MLS, that stadium will be sold out. The MLS is already climbing. It's already climbing into the stage of, what is the 6th, 7th, 8th best league in the world or something like that. So now you're watching, they have the 16th, 17th, and 18th most valuable clubs in the world. And it's only 20 years old. 20-something. That's interesting. That's interesting. If they get Messi, Inter Miami might end up in the top 25 of value in the world. That is your KSDT CPA Sports Business Report.
This has been the KSDT Sports Business Report. KSDT CPA is one of South Florida's largest and one of the country's fastest growing accounting firms. KSDT is recognized by Forbes as one of the top tax and accounting firms for 2022. KSDT CPA is a full service firm that also excels in crypto. Visit online at ksdtcpa.com or call 305-670-3370.
So, Sean, in any part of your brain, would you have ever thought that the MLS has 3 of the most valued teams in the top 20 in the world of soccer? Would you have ever thought that? Ever? Right now?
No.
Me neither. When I saw that today, I freaked out. I was like, wow, they've made a lot of progress. You're telling me that the MLS has 3 of the top 20 most valued teams in the world? I would have told you you're high. You're out of your mind. Come on, dude. You're lying to me. You're bullshitting me. That would have been me if you would have told me that. I would have never believed you at all. I think most people would never even think that the MLS has 3 of the top 17 franchises in the world. It's actually 18, I'm sorry, top 18, because they own the 16, 17, and 18 spots. So 3 of the top 18 franchises in the world are in the MLS. I would have never guessed. Oh, and by the way, it says Los Angeles, the FC, the Galaxy, and the United. I thought it would be Seattle, not Atlanta. That's where I was also wrong. Okay, because when I was looking, I was going, wow, Seattle's not there? Man, they pack it in. They put 50,000 into that stadium in every game. It's amazing. So, and I'm sure all of you felt the same way. I think most people would say, really, dude? Wow, that's crazy. I think most people wouldn't even think that. And yes, Sean is back. For those of you that are just tuning in, the man, the myth, the legend that is Sean Stanley is out of the hospital. He's feeling slightly better, still not anywhere near 100%, but the tough son of a bitch is here with us and rocking and rolling. Frankie thinks Messi's going to Saudi Arabia, but why wouldn't he have signed his contract already to have it guaranteed already, dude? I don't get that part. That's the part I don't understand, Frankie. Anyway. Damn, Salbert is jacked. Yeah. Well, he's the blocker. As I told you, Smythe and Salbert will be your blockers. And then Tanner Connor and Higgins will battle for the experimented offline tight end position. But they're not going to do it with an $11 million player in Gesicki. They'll do it with 2 guys they don't have to pay more than $500,000. Oh, man. Big O Iron Eagle does most of the Knicks games. It sounded a little biased. Bam mentioned last year D-Wade's only answer, Jimmy Tex. Text, not his. What is it? No. D-Wade only answers Jimmy's text, not his. No wonder why. LOL. Really? I don't know anything about that, but that's funny. Big, are you fluent in Spanish? Yo hablo un poquitico. Un poquitico. Hace unos cuantos años hice un programa que se llamaba La Ensalada Deportiva. Y era totalmente en español. But I'm out of practice, by the way. So my Spanish is not good, but I'm out of practice. But I can defend myself, as they say. Me defiendo. You know what I'm saying? Saudi Arabia changed their marriage laws to get the dude they wanted. How is going to outspend them for Messi? They're not going to nobody's going to outspend them. What they're going to do, this is my thought, is the MLS will grant, just like they did with Beckham, they'll give him an expansion team. Expansion teams go for over $500 million. Okay? So that's what Nashville and these teams paid. I think it was $550 million expansion fee. And I would imagine the next expansion fee go around is probably going to be around $600-700 million because it only goes up. It doesn't go down. Okay. Example, when Beckham, they gave him the team, the expansion fee was somewhere in the $125-150 million range. Now it's up to $500-600 million. So you're going to give Messi an expansion team. So when he retires, he then takes over a team, maybe Vegas or another city, San Diego. There's a couple cities that still want an MLS team, and they're up for expansion over the next round. Maybe Messi gets one of those teams. Plus, you give him a salary that Inter will pay, and then sponsors like Apple and others will also then augment it by giving him more money there on sponsorship side. So then he'll make a boatload of money, close to $1 billion when it's all said and done, because by the time he starts his team and all of that, that's going to be worth a lot of money. So that's what I think is going to happen, my friend, because Messi could easily start his expansion team, right? Build it up in a couple of years, and then sell it for 900 million, $1 billion, 1.3 million, or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And so then he'll make that money on top of all of that. So that's how that. Remember, the MLS is not going to be able to compete with Saudi Arabia or Serie A in salary. That just doesn't exist. There's no way they can do that. So they have to offset it by giving him a franchise like they did with Beckham. That's the only way I see it happening. And then that's where he gets his big chunk of money. Let's see. Giovanni says, I am shocked about that the MLS soccer junkie here, and I didn't see that possible. Neither did I. Giovanni, when I saw that, I was like, wow, that's awesome. That's impressive. I don't think any of us would have ever guessed that the MLS has 3 of the most expensive teams in the top 18 teams in the world. Nobody would have ever guessed that. Not even close. I believe the reason Messi has not signed just yet, it's because he really wants to go back to Barcelona with all the money issues they have. He also wants to still play in Europe to win a championship cup. If nothing comes up, then he will go. Why? He's done all of that. I don't think, Messi's I don't think he needs to prove anything else anymore. He did what he had to prove already. He needed to win the World Cup for Argentina. He completed his accomplishments. He's done, bro. This is like Tom Brady coming back for another title with the Bucs. Stupid, dude. You won 7 already, bro. You win 8. Nobody's going to say anything. You win a second with Tampa. Big deal. It's not. You're putting yourself more at risk for no reason at all, and it didn't end up happening. But it's like, bro, you got nothing else to prove. You're done. Messi doesn't have anything to prove anymore. He doesn't need to win any more team cups, and he doesn't have to win anything more for his country. Would be nice if he can obviously compete with Argentina one more time in the World Cup 4 years from now. I doubt that will happen, but what he did now for Argentina, that's what he needed. He needed that World Cup because that's what Argentine people held that against him with the whole Maradona shit, and it was unfair, but part of the argument, you can't tell an Argentina person that Maradona's not better if Maradona has the club championships and also has the national cup, the World Cup for the country. And that was the one thing that he did not do for his country. And in Argentina, buddy, England, Argentina, Brazil, brother, you don't win a World Cup for your country, those people are not going to be happy. They're like the Yankees, you know what I mean? Like Yankee fans. They're so spoiled that if they don't win a title, they're pissed off. And I get it. They've won 27 of them. So they're so used to constantly winning. And what are you going to tell Brazilians and Argentines and English people? They only have one pinnacle, World Cup. You know what I'm saying? And Messi did what he had to do, Frankie. That's it. His resume is done. It's complete. He doesn't need anything else. If he's doing it, it's personal. But on a world level, he's done, bro. He's done. Doesn't need any more. Big O, when you talk in Spanish, you sound like you came directly from Radio Mambi. Can you imagine me working in Radio Mambi? Holy crap. I'd freak those people out. I keep reading he wants to go back to Barca. I like saying Barca and piss people off, by the way. Big O, but just said they have no money. It really feels like he's coming to Miami. I'm telling you, it feels like he's coming to Miami. I don't think he wants the bullshit of going to Saudi Arabia and taking the bad PR, right? Cristiano Ronaldo doesn't care, but it's not a good look for you, right? And Barcelona's having money issues. Your wife loves it here. They're going to give you a freaking team. So they're going to give you $500 million right there. You know? Do it, man. Do it. Come to Miami. Make my life better. Frankie says Barca is working on trying to figure out numbers. I personally feel it's Barca 1, Saudi Arabia 2, Inter Miami 3. I don't think he wants to go to Saudi Arabia, bro. Hey, what's wrong with Mambi? What is wrong with Mambi? You tell me. Messi got suspended because he went to Saudis without authorization by PSG. Yes, sir. Oh, I read every word of Matt's draft grades, and we were tied for last with a D+. No criticism of picks, but that's what we had the fewest picks. We were graded on our dumb owner, not actual picks. Hey, man, you have to grade the Dolphins on what they did with their draft picks. That's how you grade them. That's how I'm grading them. And they did a great job because they're here to win now. So you can't spend all your picks on young guys that, all of them aren't going to contribute right away. It's going to take them a little while. You need Jalen Ramsey now. You need Jeff Wilson now. You need Bradley Chubb now. You don't need some guy to develop in the next year, 2, 3. No. Christian Wilkins, who's a terrific player, but it took him to like year 3 to really start to really take off. Years 1 and 2, I wasn't losing any patience on him, but dude, I had plenty of you that were like calling for Chris Greer's head and saying Christian Wilkins was not worthy of his draft status. Remember that? I know you guys won't admit it because I know there's 268 people I see now, and some of you were saying you weren't happy with Christian Wilkins. You thought he was a bust, but you didn't give him time, and now he's turned into a stud. So you cannot spend all your picks on young players when you're trying to win right now. And that's where the Dolphins are. They're in win now mode. So when you think about what they did with their draft, you're hoping that the guys you did add can help you out this year in the draft, but the other guys you traded for will definitely help you out because some of them were already helping you out last year in Tyreek and Jeff Wilson. So now you'll get Jalen Ramsey and hopefully a healthy Chubb and everything to make a big difference this year. Barca kind of did Messi wrong. It's like when the Heat did Wade wrong, Barca wants to make up for their mistake. Yeah, Messi has to tell them to go screw themselves. Big O, I'm a lifelong Yankee fan. The old George would give Boone Cashman the walking papers. Yankees spend a lot of money for players, so it's kind of expected to win every year except for Marlins. No, you're right. Yeah, and by the way, these guys have nothing on George. Nothing on George. Say what you want about George Steinbrenner. I don't give a shit. Okay. I'm not a Yankee fan. I'm not here to defend the Yankees or anything like that. But that man's passion to win, and he did everything legal. He wasn't cheating. He wasn't cutting any corners. Those were the rules. He played by the rules. So he could buy whatever player he wants under the same rules that everybody, and he played under the rules that Major League Baseball had. But what I love about George Steinbrenner is he was maniacal about winning. That's what Viola and Sifu are. They're maniacal about winning. That's what Jorge Mas is. Maniacal. The Mas brothers, they're Mas brothers. They're maniacal about winning, man. The Mas brothers. Mickey Harrison, not maniacal about winning. Strategical about winning. It has to be a sure thing. Oh, you can give me LeBron and Bosh? Okay, yeah, I'll pay. Meanwhile, no, we'll cut corners and try to develop young guys. So I like maniacal. I like my billionaires to be, hey, Stephen Ross, maniacal. Not very smart, but maniacal. Spends, does whatever it takes. All right? You got to be like Imagine Dragons. Whatever it takes. I love that song. Great song. They're like what was I comparing Imagine Dragons to the other day when I was listening to them, because they have this thing like they can come up with like really catchy music. And what band from the past? I forgot which one that I was comparing them to. Oh, I was going through my brains. Who was it that I was thinking about? That was a classic band that came up with a lot of catchy type of tunes. And Imagine Dragons, I kind of looked at them in the same ilk, because they are so phenomenal at coming up with tunes that are incredibly catchy, And by the way, they're really good live. Okay? Really good live. If you ever get a chance to see Imagine Dragons live, I strongly suggest you go to that concert. Very good concert. Imagine Inter Miami with Messi, Dolphins in the playoffs, Panther in the playoffs, Heat in the playoffs, and Marlins. Yeah, I love what the Marlins are doing. Even with Sandy Alcantara stink yesterday, he sucked again, dude. He went 5 innings, 6 hits, 3 earned runs, 5 Ks, 5.09 ERA. They lost 6-0. They're 16-14. They're over 500, and Sandy sucks. It's amazing. I in July we'll figure out if they're actually real. It's still early, and whatever. Kyle Wright and Braxton Garrett tonight on the mound, 6:40. If you want to check it out, but it's crazy how they're still winning. But if you bring Messi here, it'll be a lot of fun. And remember, I think Cristobal is going to turn the Canes around too. Okay, it's not going to be right away. And I don't even know if they're going to be that good this year. I don't think they're going to be that good this year. I think they'll struggle to win 8 games this year. Seriously. I seriously think. I don't think you go from as bad as you were last year to all of a sudden becoming a really good team this year. I just don't think it's going to be like that. But, 7-8 wins or something like that would be what I expect. But eventually, I think Mario gets this thing on track and kicks ass. That's the other thing that's coming. If Messi comes, he would be the biggest star ever in Florida. Not even. Messi's bigger than all the stars combined. Okay? Not just a star. Okay? Messi, for those of you that were listening, Messi's the big star eating planets. Okay? For those of you that something came across the wire now that scientists just witnessed, like 12 million light years away, they witnessed a star eat up a planet. And then they tell us that it could happen to us. Holy shit. Okay. Let's see. Nirvana and Green Day have catchy tunes. Yeah, but it's somebody else that I was thinking of that was very popular, and they played a lot of catchy tunes, and I'm kind of brain farting now. Trying to remember who the hell I was comparing Imagine Dragons to back in the day. Oh, I'm trying to remember now. Maybe it was Queen with We Will Rock You, Radio Gaga, and no. Catchy, not comparing musicians or anything like that, because Queen is light years ahead of everybody, of those guys. But no, it's not Queen. No, it's not Queen. Somebody else. I forgot who it was, man. I was thinking about it. I was going, man, they remind me of a older version of them. And I forgot now. I'm brain farting. Ray says, I'm not too shocked. MLS has been slowly on the rise the last few years. Look how they packed that Atlanta FC and LAFC stadiums. Yeah. Yeah, but I never thought they were top 18, bro. I wouldn't even think that an MLS team would be top 40. That's how bad, that's how low I thought of the MLS. Top 18, three teams in the top 18 in the world in value? That's crazy, dude. Crazy. Blink 182 doesn't have enough, but I like that, but not enough. It's somebody else that had a lot of really catchy tunes like them. No, not Cheap Trick, not Boston, not Aerosmith. No. I put Pink over Kate Bush in the. Yes, I agree. I agree wholeheartedly. Pink over Kate Bush, and Pink still hasn't done enough to make it to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, but okay. Definitely over Kate Bush. I don't know how Kate Bush is there. And by the way, you see the KSDT QR code there. Folks, if you haven't done your taxes and you're a little nervous and you're late and you need an extension, get the professionals to handle it for you at KSDT CPA to take care of your personal or your business taxes. Okay? Or if you have a business right now and you need help, you're trying to plan ahead, payroll, healthcare, all kinds of things, investing, trying to figure out how much your business is worth. All of those things, KSDT CPAs can help you in every way possible to help your business grow. If you're looking to sell, if you're whatever it is, to help set you up and give you the best, the most solid footing possible, please reach out to my friends at KSDT CPAs. They have offices in Dadeland. They have offices in Weston, in Broward, and in West Palm Beach. So call them 305-670-3370. Genesis could be the one, yeah, but it's not Genesis. It's not Chicago either. Van Hager was another rock band in the late 80s and early 90s, put out a lot of catchy, yes. But it's kind of the catchy Imagine Dragons is a little different. I'm trying, man, who was it that I was thinking of? Oh, God. What is this? Okay. All right, nothing important there. By the way, what are the markets doing right now? Not a One Republic guy. You put Lita Ford over Kate Bush? I wouldn't put either one in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. The only one out of that group that deserves to be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is Joan Jett, of course, because what she did with the Runaways is a little thing. The Runaways were actually bigger internationally and in Asia than they were here. But then Joan's solo stuff, obviously, Hall of Fame worthy. Bitcoin is just over 28,000 at 28,300, so it's still holding strong. Which really it's a real positive that it's holding super strong. Ethereum is at over 1,800 right now. A lot of things are down, bro. Immutable X is at a bargain at 90 cents right now. Cosmos is at a bargain at 1084. Gala is at a bargain at 35 cents. I'm sorry, 3 cents, 3.5 cents. Polkadot bargain at $5.61. Algorand bargain at 17 cents. ApeCoin bargain at $3.77. Illuvium super bargain at $49. There's a lot of good values right now in the crypto market. So if you're looking for them, boy, down is down. The Dow is down 15 points. The S&P is up right now 6 points, and the NASDAQ is barely up 0.25 point. So markets are we're waiting, right? Powell's going to talk at 1:00. A lot of people are expecting them to raise the rates another 0.25 point, which will be a disaster, but we're stupid. Remember, we're the country that owns a lot of Bitcoin, and we're selling it. These people are idiots. Since Nixon took the dollar off of gold, that's where we've gone to shit from the 70s on, and we give Bernanke the, Nobel Peace Prize, And that idiot helped create the mess that's here now. Okay? So it's just everybody's contributed to it for the last 50 years. Everybody, Democrats and Republicans alike. And they have just buried us when it's all said and done. And if this idiot wants to raise rates again, you go ahead, bro. More banks are going to fail. And, it is what it is. And what they need to do is stop and pivot is what they need to do. But I know what they're going to do. They're going to end up printing more money and just destroying us. Absolutely destroying us. Anyway, what are you going to do? Good afternoon, Big O and everybody. How about those Panthers? Yes, Manny, we talked a lot about the Panthers earlier. I still remember the day Every Little Thing She Does Is Magic hit the radio for the first time. The police helped change rock and roll. Roxanne! You can't get the snow off the dome to slide it open, Big O. Well, that's why you better have a heated dome, right? That everything's just kind of melting off, right? And maybe you better have a dome that's, angled so stuff, goes down. That's all. You got to come with technology, bro. That's what it's all about, technology. Heated dome on the top. Melt. They can do that stuff. That's not that difficult. Anyway, architecturally impossible to remove the snow off a dome. Well, you gotta engineer it where the snow doesn't stay on the dome. You got it? That's what you do. So maybe you have running hot water that goes off the top of the dome during the snow. I don't know. You do something, bro. You there's ways of engineering that you can do those kind of things. And they've got more than enough money to do it. So where there's a will, there's a way. They can do it. U2 inspired Imagine Dragons. Maybe. U2's pretty good. That's actually a pretty good one, right? Because you think about it, Beautiful Day, Sunday Bloody Sunday, what's it called? The Excavation, whatever. What's it called? What's that song that is very popular and people get all over it? Damn it. U2 would have a lot of those catchy ones too that you can actually kind of no, it wasn't Coldplay. Fly heaters over the top with drones. There you go. No, but the dome itself could be heated. It could have all kinds of things on top of it that will not allow any snow to stay on it. They could do that if they really wanted to. So it's up to them, bro. They can do any of that stuff if they really, truly wanted to. I remember when the Toronto constructed the Sky Dome next to the CNN Towers, one name suggested was the Con Dome, largest phallic symbol in the world. Arcade Fire, Nirvana, Muse, The Beatles, Paul Simon, Coldplay, Linkin Park, Harry Nilsson, and U2 as some of his and the band's artistic influences. Aha. No, it wasn't Coldplay. Somebody else. I don't know why I'm brain farting on it so much. Big O, it feels awesome that the Panthers are coming together at the right time. If they beat Toronto, I have them favorites to win it all. What do you think? Well, shit. If you beat Boston and Toronto, why not win it all? and can we say something about this? If they beat Toronto also, the insanity, the balls, the determination, to actually do what they did last offseason, trade away Huberto and pick Kachuk up, let several other players go, by the way. Lots of guys that were helping out this team last year. And then you fire the coach that gave you the best record in the league, a super fun and entertaining offense. You fired that guy and you brought in another coach, and you didn't bring in a guy that's won Stanley Cups or anything. You brought in another guy that has never gotten over the hump either. All those adjectives I used to describe that situation, spot on. And for them to go that drastic, and remember the regular season, it looked like you were too drastic. You didn't do it right. It looked like maybe the coach wasn't the answer. The system wasn't the answer. It just wasn't working out. And it looked like you panicked and you changed directions and it didn't pay off. Well, shit, it's paying off now. And it's paying off in a big time way. So the fact that you had the guts to do what you did last year and get rid of players that were helping you get to where you got, and then make all those drastic changes, and it looks so bad. And now that things are, it just looks like you're coming together at the right time now. It's truly amazing. It really is. It takes a lot of guts to do what they did, and it's paying off. Hell, I mean, we got to say they're already playing better in the second round than they did last year, so why not? You know what I'm saying? And if you get past Toronto, then you're getting past the round that you got to last year. So you are doing the right thing. I mean, truly, 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 truly amazing. Yes, elevation is the one, Frankie. Thank you. Wow. So impressive. Let's see what else. Since I'm in New Jersey, how about Bon Jovi and Bruce Springsteen? Well, Bruce is in the Hall of Fame, and the E Street Band is already in the Hall of Fame. Bon Jovi is not in the Hall of Fame. Okay. And even though Bon Jovi's, I don't know, last 5 albums are nothing, the first, 5 albums that he did make were awesome. He deserves to be in the Hall of Fame with Richie Sambora. They definitely deserve to be in the Hall of Fame, and they're not in the Hall of Fame. I'll put Bon Jovi in the Hall of Fame way before Kate Bush. Kate Bush doesn't even deserve to be a nominee, dude. It's disgusting. 30 Seconds to Mars is another alternative rock band that has a lot of catchy songs like Imagine Dragons. I also have some of their albums. 30 Seconds to Mars is a good little band. Heated roof is possible, just like the Green Bay turf, just a lighter grid built in. Of course, all of that is possible, dude. You know, you make it angled, you have it heated, you do all kinds of things where the snow is just going to fall off and then get funneled down through whatever system that you create. And that's it, dude. It's not the end of the world. People make it sound like, oh my God, you'll never be able to. Bullshit. You'll be able to do it. Just gotta, and they got plenty of money. Big O, there's a U2 cover band named Elevation that I saw on a cruise. Pretty damn good. There's one in town, by the way. There's a U2 cover band in town, locally here in South Florida. I forgot the name of it. My buddy always tells me about him because I think he's actually friends with one of them. Let me see if I can find it here. Oh, you know what? I think I followed them. I can just check my followers, right? On Instagram. Would it be the latest ones? Would they stay in order of the people that I follow? Here we go. I will find out now. No, it's not. Damn it. It doesn't go by the order of the people that you followed. That sucks ass. I don't know. But there is one locally. You know what? Let me ask my buddy. There we go. Okay, hold on a second. There we go. All right, here we go. What do we have here? So I'm gonna wait to get his answer, but I want to say it was like not Sunday Bloody Sunday or New Year's Day or something. Might be, I don't know, but he'll tell me now. He'll send me the name. But there's actually one locally, and they play in different clubs, bars around here in South Florida. And I'm told they're actually pretty good. I'd like to go see some of those bands. By the way, again, if any of the listeners out there, okay, thanks to Pat in Asheville, he came through for me. He only had one ticket, which I'm blessed, because my man Grieper has not been able to get a ticket yet. But Wide Awake, they're called. Wide Awake. That's it. He told me YouTube band is called Wide Awake. Okay. And anyway, so if anybody has tickets or one ticket, if you have two, that'd be phenomenal for me and my best friend. But if you have one ticket for me, for the second night on the 30th of September in Vegas for you two, anywhere in the building, I'd be interested. Okay. So if you can, reach out to me, Twitter, Big O Show, DM, email bigoradioshow@yahoo.com. So if you happen to have an extra ticket or two to the second night of the U2 concert on the 30th of September, because I'm going there to Vegas. My birthday's October 1st. So, the wife already is giving me a birthday present as that first night on the 29th. So now I need to find one for the 30th. So if anybody out there has one or two extra tickets to U2 in Vegas on the second night there at the Sphere, love to go, man. Love to go. AEW Wednesday. Soraya or Willow Nightingale? Well, Soraya sounds too much like Zendaya. So I'm not a big fan of Soraya and Zendaya. But Willow, you got to watch out with Willow. See, Willow was kind of underestimated when it came to Buffy. Allison Hannigan, when Willow really wanted to unleash, she was a witch with a bitch, You know what I'm saying? She was a bitch of a witch when she really wanted to be. So I'm going to go with Willow Nightingale. She's going to be really witchy and bitchy tonight, and she's going to take down Soraya, don't call me Sandaya. Oh, I got a thumbs down from Sean here on my Willow Nightingale pick. All right, we shall see. And thank you for the love on the super chat, Frankie. Remember, you can make a donation through Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show, Cash App or Venmo. Let's see. Okay. Gotta love O's break. Hey, man, that is hardcore wrestling breakdown right there. I mean, nobody gives you that kind of breakdown. Gordon says, there's a decent Smiths cover band from Florida called Ordinary Boys. They're pretty good. I've seen them a couple times. Something you might want to look into. Okay, Ordinary Boys. Where in Florida do they just travel Florida? Or are they a South Florida, Central Florida type band? Gordon, I got to ask that because I don't know if all bands, sometimes they stay in their regions of the state. So I'm not sure. To this day, In the Air Tonight is still one of the most iconic rock songs ever. Everyone remembers watching Miami Vice and hearing that. Well, those of us that are old enough, Eric. Wasn't Miami Vice like on a Friday night? Right? It was, right? Because somehow I remember you being pissed that sometimes I used to have to wait to watch Miami Vice and then go hit the streets, right? That's kind of the way it used to. I don't know why I used to remember that. That and why is it that I think LA Law was also kind of later on in the week? Kind of got into my nights and I'm like waiting to watch LA Law and then I can take off. I loved LA Law. Oh, that's one of my favorite all-time shows, LA Law. And I thought Susan Day was at her peak in that show. Like she was hotter in LA Law than she was with the Partridge Family. Put it that way. And by the way, the BMW that Susan Day drove in LA Law is one of my favorite classic cars. It's like, what is it? Like a CSI 2.0 or so. I don't know what it was like a classic BMW. I want to say it's a 70s BMW, if I'm correct. But that body, that model, love that freaking BMW, man. That's one of my favorite classic BMWs. Still remember that. It always stuck to my mind because I always said, wow, man, maybe as I get older and I got some extra cash, which never going to happen, but I'll always be a working stiff, whatever. But I'd love to buy that BMW, have it an extra car in the garage and take it out every once in a while for a cruise. Love that BMW. I don't know if anybody can tell me which is it was Thursdays, right? There you go. Ladies' night. Thursdays was ladies' night, bro. LA Law was Thursday night, and after came Cheers and Night Court. There you go. Speaking of BMW, that new one is sick to look at. The i7. Okay, yeah, they're great cars, man. I mean, shit. I was born in 71, Star Wars kid who spent a lot of time watching TV growing up. There you go. Miami Vice, Friday nights, 9:00. There, I knew it. I knew I would have to watch it, and then I'd go out because I don't think I was recording it or anything, back in those. I think you could. I think I had the VH. I might have had the VHS already at then, maybe. But I know that I would wait for Miami Vice, watch it, and then I'd go out. I remember that to a T because I loved Miami Vice, man. That was one of my favorite shows. And as I've told you many times over, the greatest television soundtrack of any show ever is Miami Vice. And it's not even close. Not even close. They were so smart when it came to their music and the way they put things together. Tonight, by the way, 76ers and Celtics. Celtics need to even up that series. They're favored by 10. The over and under is 216.5. 76ers plus 400 on the money line. The Celtics are minus 500 on the money line. The Lakers defeated the Golden State Warriors last night, 117-112. They took a 1-0 lead. LeBron with 22 points and 11 rebounds as the Grizzly led the Lakers. And Steph Curry had 27 points. Clay had 25. in a losing cause. What else do we have going on that we can talk about? By the way, if you're a Knicks fan right now, you have no confidence, right? Unless you're lying to yourself. I mean, that's the only way a Knicks fan could have any confidence. No Jimmy, no Tyler, no Oladipo. Strus gets injured with a back contusion. Hell, what's it called? Caleb slid into the table, into the chairs. Boy, and that thing looked bad too. And he was like holding it, and he was hurting, bro. Anything and ever, and you got the referees to take away 2 points from the Heat in a possession, which was a big swing at that moment. Okay? That basket cuts it to 3. All that help. There's no way you feel like the superior team in any way, shape, or form. Not by ownership, not by front office, not by head coach, not by the players, nothing. They have no edge anywhere. Spo eats Tibbs up for lunch, period. They had 3 players in Randall, Brunson, and Barrett go off for 79 points. How many times are they going to do that? And how many times are you going to get to play without Jimmy Butler on the court? You know, the whole thing that Julius Randle wasn't there in the first game, you want to use that as an excuse, that's fine. But you know why it didn't fly? Because he was here in the second game, and he almost lost to a team without Butler, without Oladipo, without Tyler Hero, and other guys getting injured. And those guys, they really can't play any better. That threesome, that's who they are right there. That's the max that you're going to get. So I'm sure whoever your Knicks friend, family member, or coworker is, boy, you can have a field day with him or her right now. Because you know they are nervous about this series. They know they're the inferior franchise. And once again, Knicks fans, I just want to remind you, you don't matter. Your team doesn't matter at all. Just want you to know that, okay? And deep down inside, you know you're really lucky to win yesterday, even with the Heat at an incredible disadvantage. So, you know, there's no cocky Knick fan going on out there. And if you are, you're just showing your ignorance, because there's nothing about you that should be cocky at all. Okay? That win last night was not impressive. You're beating a bunch of undrafted players, and those guys almost outplayed your ass. And you're also lucky that Bam Adebayo doesn't know how to step up in key moments. Jesus Christ, that guy. Too nice. That's what it is. Bam has no son of a bitch in him at all. None. That's a shame. It really is a shame that he has no SOB in him. If he did, he certainly has the athleticism and the talent to be one hell of a player. You think of the athleticism and the length that this young man has, the ability that he has, he should be way better than what he is right now. What a shame. It really is a real shame that Bam is just not wired, to be a stud. Kind of sucks. Braves beat the Marlins 6-0 tonight. It'll be Kyle Wright and Braxton Garrett. Get to kind of pay attention to baseball tonight a little bit. That'll be fun. CP3, groin injury. So you saw that Phoenix was leading in that game. He went out with the injury. They ended up losing that game. So here's the part that I kind of find amusing, disturbing to a certain extent. And now a story comes out about CP3 that this could be what cost CP3 his career with the Phoenix Suns. It says already down 2-0 in their Western Conference semifinals against Denver. The Suns' chances of advancing to the conference finals just took a major hit with Chris Paul going down with the groin injury on Monday. Paul's injury occurred in the third quarter, and the Suns' veteran point guard would not return to action. We now have more an official update related to the 37-year-old 12-time All-Star. According to Shams Charania, CP3 is expected to be reevaluated roughly in a week. For now, the Suns are expected to go on without their leading floor general in games 3 through 5, which, considering Phoenix is already down 2-0 in the best-of-7 series, reaching game 5 is no sure thing. Instead, we may have already seen the last of Paul in a Suns uniform. After acquiring Kevin Durant ahead of the NBA trading deadline, the Suns are sure to continue making roster changes this offseason. Paul and his partially guaranteed $30.8 million salary could be the first to go. While Paul may not hold much trade value at this stage in his career, the potential cap relief or just his veteran leadership could be enticing for another team looking to make the leap to contender status in the near future. And why would that be when he's unreliable to help you lead to any next status? Why would that be? Can't lead the Suns to the promised land. Why would it lead anybody else? And here's the most disturbing part. Okay? Danny Granger, Bob, not Bobrovsky, the other Bob, Whiteside, Tyler, James Johnson, Dion Waiters, Bam, Duncan Robinson, Dwayne Dedman. Bad contract after bad contract after bad contract after bad contract over the last 9 years that the Heat have to figure out how to stop giving those bad contracts out. Guess who's been linked to Pat Riley for many years now? Chris Paul. I'm not saying that they're going to acquire Chris Paul now or anything. I think by now they should know. Seriously, they should know. But my point is that it goes with the modus operandi lately of the Miami Heat, that they have not evaluated the right people to give contracts to. By the way, the Jimmy Butler one, as great as he is, there's 3 more years and that wear and tear on that body. I don't know if that's going to end strongly, to be quite honest. But I'm just saying, when I saw the Chris Paul thing and that they're finally going to get rid of his unreliable ass, and it's been like that for years with him, I thought of Pat Riley, because he's been linked to Pat Riley for many years now, just like Kyle Lowry was. And yet Pat Riley still made the deal for Kyle Lowry. And I knew that was a terrible deal at this point in time. 5-7 years ago, okay, I understand it. Last 2 years ago, no, I don't understand it. Why would you want Kyle Lowry? And this is where you walk that fine line of, you want a veteran leader, but you don't want a guy that's too veteran, too old at this point. That doesn't make any sense. So I saw that story that, it looks like the Suns have reached their pinnacle with CP3. I'm just hoping that wherever he goes or whatever, he doesn't end up anywhere near the Miami Heat. I'm kind of tired of old players. I'm tired of players that are broken down and worn down and, You're signing these players, and there's no reason. It's time for the Miami Heat to give out good contracts and stop giving out the bad contracts that they've given out for the last 9 years, including Kyle Lowry. So, CP3, I certainly want no part of that here with the Miami Heat. Frankie Fresco, thank you for the love on the super chat, by the way. Greetings, Big O from Vegas. Once again, fins up. Let's go Heat. Not worried about the loss at all. We got them next game. I agree. Bam is as soft as Charmin. Oh, we know this. Bam needs Abuela to take him to El Baño or Babalo. What is a Babalo? He needs to be possessed by the spirit of Zoe. No, that'll never happen, Emilio. Zoe had a natural nasty streak to him. Okay? It just comes with the territory with Zoe. Zoe is an intense human being, period. He's going to be a nice guy, and he's going to be cordial, and he's going to be classy and personable and all that when he has to be with people. But when it comes to the game of basketball, the dude was all business. You know what I mean? Zoe wasn't going to take too long to celebrate things. Okay? Maybe a championship, obviously, because I saw him do that. But on regular nights or whatever, and they won, Zoe wasn't going crazy and skipping through the halls and going to go make it rain and clubs and all that. And it was like, okay, it's a win. I feel good today. All right, let's go. Let's get to work for the next game. You know, that's who he was. It's a different intensity, dude. It's a different mofo. Because that's what Zoe was. Zoe was a mofo. You know? That's what those people are, man. You're not messing with Jason Taylor, bro. You're not messing with Zach Thomas. You're not messing with Tim Bowens. You're not messing with certain guys. They're not going to have any of it. None. You see it in Miami safety all the time. It's there. You can see he's all business. He'll joke around a little bit or whatever, but Holland is, bro, he is laser focused. And it's a whole different. Bam just is not wired that way. Bam is a nice guy. He's too nice. He's Barkov. He just doesn't have that edge. He has the gifts, but he doesn't have the edge. U2 has the edge. There are so many times during a game that I'm screaming, take him, Bam, go. And the dude just dribbles 20 feet away from the basket, and the defender is 10 feet away from him. Yeah, it's, Pat Riley is licking his lips right now thinking about CP3 and Lowry at guard. So I mentioned Soundgarden, Frankie. I have no problem putting them in the Rock and Roll. I mean, Kate Bush over Soundgarden? Really, dude? Like, seriously? Like, you're going to insult my intelligence by putting Kate freaking Bush on the list of nominees over Soundgarden? I should bitch slap you. That's what I should do. I should go to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, find the committee, and bitch slap every one of them. Okay? While wearing a wife beater. All right? That's what I should do on their asses. That's what they deserve. Are you kidding me? Yeah. It's ridiculous. Just is. Kate Bush. Give me a break. Like I said, Beyonce. Like, she's light years ahead of Kate Bush already. Light years. Put her ass in the Hall of Fame. Kate Bush can't even come close to Beyonce. And I'm not into Beyonce solo stuff. I don't like her pop music. I'm not into it. Love Destiny's Child. But her music, I'm not that. But I respect the accomplishment, just like I told you with Gwen Stefani. I'll put Gwen Stefani 1,000 times into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame before I put Kate Stinkin' Bush in there. Again, don't like Gwen Stefani's solo stuff. Have no interest in that girly bullshit. But I love her music with no doubt. But I respect it. She made her own way solo-wise, maybe not to the level of Beyonce, but she's still really successful. And then her band, no doubt, was amazing. Underrated, no doubt. They're really good. I'll put those two ladies in front of Kate Stinkin' Bush any day of the week. Anyways, I've been watching Cam's highlights, and I'm really excited about that pick. He'll definitely be a good CB to build around with Holland and Wilkins after Howard and Ramsey hang it up. Well, it'll be Howard first. Ramsey will stick around. Then you'll move on a couple years after that. Let's go. Zoe out there now. I bet he still has a step. Well, I bet he still has a nasty step. How much better would the Heat be if they kept Precious instead of Lowry? Yeah, they could use his size. You are correct. Terrible trade, bro. Terrible trade. I mean, you could argue that the point guard you traded away is better than Lowry. Emilio says, can't disagree, brother. Zoe is unique, and they don't make them like that. No, they don't. They don't. That's what you love about Zoe, bro. Zoe was just a stud, man. Stud. Never gave up. Had this fire. Wanted to win. Was going to do anything to win. What he did in the 2006 finals, like I've said many times, he was the most important center in the finals, not Shaq. Zoe. All right? Kidney replaced and all. Zoe was the effing man in the obviously way, but I'm saying defensively, oh my God. Zoe was the difference maker in that series, dude. He was so huge. Cyndi Lauper, definitely. Way more than Kate Stinkin' Bush. Yeah, dude. Please. Not even close. Yeah. She's more talented, more successful, sold way more records. In fact, look it up for me there, Sean. If Kate Stinkin' Bush has sold just under 7 million records, I think you said it was 6.9 or 6.8 or whatever, I bet you Cyndi Lauper has sold way more records. She's in the double digits. I bet she is 6. I bet Cindy's at least at 15 plus. I'm going to guess. How about that? And way more hits than Kate Bush. Kate Stinkin' Bush. Okay? Get that answer in a second now from the man, the myth, the legend. And he's back. Sean Stanley. And wish Sean Stanley well now that he's back. What's the number, dude?
50 million.
Woo! 50 million. And she's not in the Hall of Fame, but you're going to nominate Kate Stinkin' Bush. Come on, man. You're going to put a smelly cat in there? So what are we going to do now? Are we going to put Phoebe into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? Smelly Cat was a hit. It was all about Kate Bush. Yes, but Kate Bush's don't stank. Oh, just, that's, that information, it's up to you. I'd put Bonnie Tyler before Kate Bush. Bonnie Tyler is, what is it? Total Eclipse of the Heart, right? Isn't it? Is that Bonnie Tyler? And Bonnie Tyler's also It's a Heartache Nothing but a heartache. Yeah, right. Right? Isn't that Bonnie Tyler? Am I right or am I wrong on that one? Yeah. That's a pretty good one. What about Bush the band? Way better than Kate Stinking Bush. That's for sure. Oh, I saw my previous cruise. The band was Aerosmith. They sang all the Aerosmith songs. They were good. My wife says that the singer looks like Shaggy from Scooby-Doo. Oh, man. Jamie Foxx, I know. Yeah, he's not doing well. Yeah. Big O says your singing voice almost rivals your wrestling knowledge. Almost. But it is, right? Was that right with Bonnie Tyler? Let me see. By the way, Bonnie Tyler probably sold more records also. Yeah, Total Eclipse of the Heart and It's a Heartache. Yeah, I was right. There you go. I know a little music, just a tad. Let me see how I want to say Bonnie Tyler probably sold more records than Kate Stinking Bush. I bet you she sold more than 6.9. Let's say.
Nope,
Let's
5.19.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Wow. Okay.
Sold more in the U.S. though, 1.5 million in the U.S.
Right. Yeah, because Kate's Bush doesn't even reach 1 million in the U.S. Right? Wasn't it 550,000?
550. Yep.
Yeah. You see. Yeah, we don't like any stinking bushes here, man. Born June 8th of 1951. She is 71. Born in Skewen, Neath, Wales. There you go. That scratchy voice that she had. That's so cool. When you have that kind of singing voice, that's scratchy, but you're popping, you know. She had that magic. Let's see. Everything went perfect for the Knicks last night, and yet the Heat were still in reaching distance of beating the Knicks on their so-called intimidating home court. Yeah, there is none. Big O, your singing made me dog howl. Well, I was trying to do the Bonnie Tyler. Okay, I don't know if you know the song, but she has like that gravelly voice. So I was trying to be gravelly. You know, if you want me to just go clean and high-pitched Freddie Mercury style, I can do that. But I was trying to be scratchy and gravelly, you know, like Bonnie is with her voice. Because you can't sing that, you know. If you want me to sing It's a Heartache, you know, Whitney Houston stuff, I can do that and you'll be freaked out. But I got to try to sing it in Bonnie's scratchy voice. Okay, that's the key there. So for those of you that maybe, you know, some of you are so young, you have no idea what It's a Heartache is. You know, maybe you've heard the song, probably you haven't, you know, so you might not know. Even Total Eclipse of the Fart actually has a little, you know, she has the scratchy edge to it too, but It's a Heartache, she really goes all scratchy and gravelly. And I love it, by the way. Big O and no, not this week. Big O PSG fans are at PSG headquarters screaming against Messi. Are they complaining about Messi, or are they complaining to PSG that they're, you know, fining Messi, or so? How is it? I don't know what's going on. You got to fill me in on that part. That's the part I don't understand. Scratchy and Gravelly would be a great band name. You're right. Scratchy Gravelly. It'll keep you intrigued. You're like, oh, I wonder how they sound. Scratchy and gravelly. Oh, okay. That makes sense. That's why they named them that. Okay. Aaron Rodgers says he'll be at more than half of the remaining offseason practices. So there you go. Tom Telesco says no QB contract is a blueprint for Justin Herbert's deal. What else do we have? Headlines in football. There's really not much. We're waiting to see if the Dolphins do anything at the tackle position. That's the other thing. So we will see if Cameron Fleming signs with the Miami Dolphins. All right. Check your Twitter. I just sent it to you. Oh, you did, huh? Let's see, Frankie, what you got. What do you finna have here? Let's see. Did you DM me? Yeah, it looks like you did. Okay. Paris Saint-Germain fans outside of club headquarters chanting against Lionel Messi. There's a lot of them, too. What are they chanting? What the hell are they chanting? I can't pick up on what they're chanting. Hold on. Let me see. Let me see if you guys can pick up on what Frankie just sent me here on what they're chanting, because I have no idea what the hell they're chanting. Here we go. All right, let's put this up. I'm going to lower my volume. Okay. Will the wheels in the bus go round and round, round and round, round and round? Will the wheels in the bus go round and round? One day we'll hear the sound. We ready or what? Anybody know what the hell they're saying? Can you tell? Something about Messi or something? We will not something Messi. Anybody know what the hell they're saying? And by the way, at this point in time, remember, the French at this point in time are already rioting in the streets every day now that they have to work 2 extra years in order to collect Social Security, which, of course, because every country now wants to push back their Social Security because they can't pay us, and they know that they've mismanaged all our monies. So as we all get older, that money that we thought was going to be there is probably not going to be there. But anyway, that's not just a French thing. That's everywhere. But the French are pissed, right? That now they're getting their Social Security pushed back 2 more years. So they're already rioting in the streets and all kinds of stuff. So they were more than well prepared to go rioting and go protest over at PSG. They love their protest, dude. Last time I was in Paris, they were protesting during that time there. Shit, they were burning down stuff and everything. I never understand that stuff. Why are we burning down our own streets and neighborhoods and all that? That's going to end up costing all of us as taxpayers. Don't understand that part. And then what? And some companies are insured. Well, guess what? We're all using the same insurance companies. Guess what happens to the rates? You know, the destruction of property makes no sense. Not someone else's property, not a business, not your own. I never understand that about anyone that riots. Don't understand that at all. Where do we gain destroying somebody's property? What are we gaining? But anyway, they're all over the place. They're saying Lionel F. Messi. I didn't hear that. But now maybe a French way of saying F. Messi. I'm not exactly sure. I think they're saying Inter Miami Messi. Inter Miami Messi. Because I have no idea what the hell they're saying. Anybody speak French out there, man? Anybody remember a couple of the French words they learned in high school? Okay. Just weird. Joe Biden, 4 more years. Yeah. I mean, we're screwed, bro. You're going to give us Biden and Trump again. Like both parties don't know what to do. That a ton of Democrats don't want Biden to run, right? But they have no other candidate the deadbeats. A ton of Republicans don't want Trump to run, but they have no other candidate. And they have the extreme on their part of their party that is probably the major portion of it, even though it might be only 30%. But the problem is if you have 7 other candidates, they're going to break up all the other percentages. So neither party can produce a candidate. Is that hilarious or what? That's why I tell you that both parties suck. Neither one is out for us. I mean, think about it. This is all they can produce. These two losers. So, yeah, we're probably stuck with 4 years of Biden. Because, I mean, you got to be stupid on the other side to think that Trump can win anything. Trump can't win anything. He lost to Hillary by 3 million. He lost to Biden by 7 million. And then in the midterms, his 7 lackeys all lost. Nobody wants any part of Biden in the general public. It's just that small extreme that they think they're going to win. So we're going to reelect that deadbeat Biden because the Republicans can't come up with a. It's funny. It's there for the taking. If the Republicans can find a decent candidate, they'll easily win. And then the Democrats, they know their candidate sucks, right? There's a bunch of Democrats that don't want the old geezer to run. But then you look at the rest, they're not even having a debate, those losers on the Democratic side. That's how much they're mistreating their voters, that they're not even going to have a challenger. That's disgusting. So you have nobody better than Biden or Trump. How do we ever get out of this? We don't. We can't. We'll never get out of it. And you go ahead and keep choosing sides. That's going to really help you out. Be a Democrat, be a Republican. Yeah, that really helps out. Keep the division going. That's exactly what they want. Keep us stupid. That's exactly what they want. Oh, love it. Each side will tell you about things that don't matter, and you waste your time with all of that. Go for it. It's freaking crazy. My French is not very good looking. The people that destroy property are unemployed. They're just losers. That's all I know. You know? Next president will be AI. I love that. Oh, man. Sorry, Big O. My memory of French is the same part of my recessed memory as the penguin beatings in Catholic school. Oh, God, don't remind me of that. Big O, did you see Meatball DeSantis presidential camp? Yeah, I know. He's another guy. He easily could have had it, and then all he's done is screw things up left and right. Yeah. Anybody that goes with that strong line on abortion, you're not going to win. You're not going to win. The general public will vote you out. Notice how they keep you stupid, right? Like the Democrats, they want to shove the CBDCs down your throat now to control you and all that and control what you spend and everything. And will they put that to general vote? No. Why? Because you'll turn it down like this. 70% of the people will turn it down and say, no, we don't want no CBDCs. But Democrats won't do that. Republicans, they're tied to the conservatives, right? Do they put abortion up for voting? Of course not, because 70% of Americans would say, of course we want abortion. Leave it at 15 weeks. It's normal. Most people say 15 weeks. That's normal. That's it. No 30-week extreme or whatever, or no 6 weeks or none. No. Leave it at 15 weeks. That's fair for everybody. Everybody will vote for it, but they won't allow that. And they know that. That's why they won't put it up for vote, just like the Democrats. Both sides do the same shady shit. Problem is that half of you don't see it from your Democrats and half of you don't want to see it from your Republicans. That's all. You don't want to think about Americans. You just want to choose a side. And that's why we're all screwed. And I keep telling you guys over and over, and I don't care if you get pissed at me. I don't give a shit if you're a Democrat or a Republican that's pissed because I'm dogging your side. Your side is not for Americans. You're not helping Americans. Okay? You're not. It's bottom line. But if you want to keep thinking that, you guys can go ahead and keep thinking that. So, Republicans and Democrats should try to find common ground on what they can agree on because plenty is broken in our system. But they won't, bro, because they have too many personal interests. All of them. All of them. They all have their own personal interests, and that's what they care about. They care about lining their pockets. They don't care about Americans. Not at all. So that's the bottom line, and that's the sad part about the state that we're in. All right, I am out of here. We thank Matt Verderam as always. I do want to thank Channel 7. That was a very entertaining sportscast yesterday in the 10 o'clock show. I'm looking forward to the sportscast tonight. Maybe they'll start telling us baseball rules throughout their entire sportscast. Since yesterday they broke down hockey rules in their sportscast. So if you happen to have on your DVR, the Channel 7, and you didn't watch the sports, you got to watch the sportscast. Okay, at 10:50 or whatever it is, hilarious shit. Watching Donovan Campbell go over hockey rules as a sportscast was freaking awesome. Okay? I don't know who's the dumbass in that building that thought of that, but that is one stupid mofo. Okay? Seriously. Whoever thought that was a good idea is out of their minds. But maybe Channel 7 will give us new. Hey, listen, I don't know about you guys, but I don't even watch Channel 6 anymore. Right? After they got rid of Ruthie, and Ruthie, love to see you bouncing back in Chicago. Way to go. But after they got rid of Ruthie and their sportscast, and you can tell it, I don't even bother to watch them anymore because I know they don't take sports serious. So that's it. So now it's either 4, 7, and 10 is left for me because 6 has been their persona non grata now for me, because if I'm not going to get a sportscast from them and they don't care and they would just want to give me new, I've already seen it where they have their newscasters do the sports. Like, yeah, I'm not interested. Yeah, you guys, everybody's going to give me the news. So why should I go to you? I'm going to get, I'll stay with 7 and 4 and 10. At least they have complete sportscast and they actually have real sportscasters on and all. But Channel 7, come on, hockey rules? How about some soccer rules? MLS soccer rules this evening. Let's go. Thanks for the entertainment, 7. And the catastrophic stupidity. That's very entertaining. Anyway, on behalf of the great Sean Stanley, it is a blessing to have him back. Please smash the hell out of the like button, welcoming our guy Sean Stanley back. Thanks to all that made a donation on Super Chats here on the show. Remember, you can also make it through Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show. And you can also make a Bitcoin donation on Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. We thank Matt Verderam. We thank everybody that tuned in. We'll see you tomorrow afternoon at 3 o'clock live from Hialeah Park. Have a great one.
This is the Big O Show.